I tell them you can't get like me, yo man, ain't shit like me. Pack strong, hit like me, you broke, can't sit by me. Gang, gang, beside me, we ride till we D.I.E. Bang, bang, don't try me, that fire always be by me. You can't get like me, yo man, ain't shit like me. Pack strong, hit like me, you broke, can't sit by me. Gang, gang, beside me, we ride till we D.I.E. I'm gassed up, ignite me, my cash up, too lit, I be up. I'm a type of nigga that says shit straight. I never did hate, that's a bitch nigga trait. By any means, baby, I'ma get to the cake. I been a real nigga, so it ain't for debate. Beefing with me, get you hit with a stake. She left you for me, saying you the mistake. I can't be replaced. No. Saving what hoes? Do you see me with a cape? I hustle from sun up to sundown. If a hater run up, he get walked down. We be up in that stick on who talk down. Reaching for my shit, 5-5. I be putting in work, I don't clock out. Talking dirty, you niggas get mouthed out. Shout it like how I kick it like Kung Lao. Cause these niggas be chicken, compound. I ain't wanna do it, but have to. I'm the shit like I live in the bathroom. Pull up, eat it, and dip. She fast food. Girl, let me show you what this cash do. I'm going nuts like the cashews. My name in they mouth with a bad move. Not a brokey, I go with a cash move. I'ma set this shit off if I have to. Hey. Niggas ain't built like me, bionicles, but you self-made. It's ironic though, you original but you be copying. I'm by my coins, I got that sonic flow. Bruce Lee, Roy, bitch, I got the glow. Probably run a ticket up at Papa Do's. Call me Young Atomic cause I'm about to blow, nigga. Pause, no homo, no homo. You can't get like me, yo man, ain't shit like me. Pack strong, hit like me, you broke, can't sit by me. Gang, gang, beside me, we ride till we D.I.E. Bang, bang, don't try me, that fire always be by me. You can't get like me, yo man, ain't shit like me. Pack strong, hit like me, you broke, can't sit by me. Gang, gang, beside me, we ride till we D.I.E. I'm gassed up, ignite me, my cash up, too lit, I be up. You can't get like me. Pack strong, hit like me. We ride till we D.I.E. My cash up, too lit, I be up.
Welcome to another episode of MZ Talks Boxing. The show has been taken over and has been granted a new name this week, the Eric on Gil Cole Show. Why? Because I got my ass whipped in Champ Ross. Yeah, it was terrible. I'm going to tell y'all all about it when we get some people tuned in. Got jumped. Hands was coming from everywhere, but I stood strong. This episode of Musically Zone Talks Boxing comes to you by H.W. Wicks Handcrafted Candles. Their motto is relax and enjoy. We're also sponsored by the Block family, which started on Marlowe's Corner, keeping it going for our brother. And our music comes from none other than the Track Titans. If you know somebody looking for video music to start their videos, play through their videos, or at the end of their videos, tell them to reach out to us here on MZ Talk, Musically Zone Talks Boxing, a.k.a. the Eric on Gil Cole Show. And we'll get you in touch with the Track Titans. Know somebody that spits or sings? Let them know we got some hot fire for them. With that being said, we're going to sit back, relax, wait for the family to fall through, and get things cracking like we always do. Y'all see the title up there? When the Beat Your Ass Fighter shows up. And I mean, when they show up, they show up. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and slide to the song, one of my favorites. We're going to start it off with Hydro Blow. And then we're going to get things cooking and rolling as we always do. So here we are, once again, Hydro Blow by the Track Titans, featuring the marvelous sounds of Decay.
shorty looking mad fly. Had me captivated when she walked by. I'm serious, she had me feeling this tingle, son. Stimulated conversation after mingling. Honey was jingling and stretched jeans looking clean. Appearance would enhance any scene, know what I mean? Feel that, really. I know it sounds silly, but looking at her was like puffing on a fat fillet. Relaxing, she had this natural attraction. She started laughing when she saw my reaction. Oh my, passed the name and number to the cell. Asked for mine, I said his oldest last name is Bell. Also known as the O, the B, the 3, the A, the S, the T. It's me, obese, do you get high? Then I'm your guy.
If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go.
Say what you want, just be blunt, I can stand the pain. Take a ride on the great airlines, I promise you'll be glad you came. The fire in your eyes make wetness between your thighs. You say you never blow, I eliminate your disguise. Underneath your green exterior, I gaze. Exploration of your brain leaves me in a purple haze. I see consent as my morals continue living. I just like to engage in a little oral tradition. So pardon my unorthodox approach to blazing luscious. That's just the way I roll. Lick the split before I stuff it. You like it hot, I got enough smoke to choke the average throat. But tonight I'm trying to go a little deeper. Loving the feel of your lips, taking drags off this gas, just puff and never pass. I'm your high value reefer.
I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, we can make this track go.
I'm chilling in my room on this night. I got something tied up in the shower, am I right? A friend in the negligee smiling as she rolling up. Every once in a while looking up, saying, girl, hurry up. She placed her gaze back up on me and took a deep sigh and said, I'm so home. You want a drink? I said, yeah. And while she walking to the table, she asking what I think. I like the way your lips poke out like she pouting, and that ass got my little man shouting. She kinda giggled, oh, you like what you see? Before I can answer, I heard, hey, what about me? I turned around, she got a pose with no clothes, with a leg up on the chair, with her hands so exposed. She said, don't speak, just lay back on the bed. Said something about double D. Yeah, you heard what she said.
If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go. If I got the high, you got control, you can make this track go.
We are back. And let me start off by giving the announcement about Champ Ross's Fantasy Boxing League. If you think you can pick fights, pick them to win by a split decision, majority, draw, maybe, knockout, go on over to give Champ Ross's Fantasy Boxing League a try. There are plenty of players in there for you to butt heads against and see how your knowledge stacks up against theirs. Champ Ross has been around for about 4 years, so they have the longevity that you would be looking for. They also give out prizes for first, second, and third. It's a great league, a great community. And like I said, if you think you got what it takes, go on over to Champ Ross's Boxing League and join. Tell him MZ sent you. Now, I know that I had talked a lot about boxers' mental stance, how strong they were, and how they would stand up. And I kind of went on Boots, not hard, but I did wonder about his mental capacity and how he gets frustrated in the 2 fights before facing Imantis Stanionis, my boy, Stanionis. Yeah, that's the way I was saying it then. That's the way I'm always saying it, because I like saying Stanionis. And we end up seeing what it was that Boots and his father was talking about. So I got to give congratulations to Boots first off, before I just dive off into it and say congratulations. The young man put on a show. He did his thing. How can I say he just did his thing? He went out there and made Stan Jonas look bad. But I'm going to wait like I always do. We're going to hit you with I'm Like. Get a little music going, get things bubbling and percolating while I get things set up. Y'all ride with me and enjoy the ride, enjoy the night, and we're going to see how things go. We're going to hit you with I'm Like. Something that we're looking for extra verse. You got some skills.
Let's ride. 10 toes down, we're stuck in that paper. Riding real clean, we're stunting on haters. She said come through, I'm like, yeah, later. Y'all know what it is when the players say later. I'm like, on my grind, got no time for hoe. I'm like, on my swivel, let nothing get close. I'm like, can't stop fighting till they let go. I'm like, one door closed, I'll kick for more. I understand, a lot of people out here won't get me. Yet here I be playing, on the spot where the whole world can hit me. Please understand, everything I lay down gon' be tight. I can turn that left into a right, make a dike turn into a plumber chasing that pipe. Make a mumble over words I say, got them stumbling over the words they write. Even though they claim to be using a third eye, soon you'll see they have no sight. Running over these facts like Saquon Barkley, throwing it deep like Jalen Hurts. They say that the MZ can't touch down, so tell me why they raising they skirt. Like, one door closed, I'll kick for more. Like, on my swivel, let nothing get close. Like, can't stop fighting till they let go. Like, on my grind, got no time for hoe. Lights, cameras, action, making money, got haters reacting. Or you thinking that you got a lick, better think about it before you be in the casket. That could be drastic, now they be asking, who the hell done sent the assassin? It's a lot of crying and screaming and crying, cause killers got blasted, that was their passion. I ain't never been the one to come hate on, even though they was the ones to come hate on. Now they gotta wait around to see what it is that I will be raising. All of that talking they doing don't move me. Better believe this here ain't a movie. Better be hoping your people are praying when I come through, I don't pursue that.
My brothers tell me watch these niggas, tell them that I'm on it. My sisters tell me watch these hoes, tell them that I'm on it. They say the game is up for grabs, tell them that we own it. Matter of fact, we got some problems, guaranteed they don't want it. Standing in my kitchen, cooking cakes and dropping pies. Keep your voice down, my cakes is starting to rise. I hear these niggas talking what it is that they gon' stop. So I'ma act like real and true, and I'm about to spin the block. Flip my truck thinking that death is about to get me. If this ain't death, then y'all got a problem from fucking with me. And I ain't trying to hear what the competition gon' state, but it's time for me to speak, consider that judgment day. Really all they breathing to me is just overrated. If they claiming that they killed it, I spit and reanimated, returning eradicated. I'm killing off all clones, represent the block fam, so the others will move on. I hear they out there hating, but bet you they gon' respect it. And I don't tongue wrestle with nothing, I straight reject it. They speaking on tomorrow, man, I'm living in today. Matter of fact, tomorrow ain't promised to make it anyway. In my dreams I hear my mama saying, son, take it easy. Charge my brothers and sisters to make me take it easy. Believe me, long as they righteous, I'll keep it tight. But if they coming at me wrong, then I'm turning off their lights. My brothers tell me watch these niggas, tell them that I'm on it. My sisters tell me watch these hoes, tell them that I'm on it. They say the game is up for grabs, tell them that we own it. Matter of fact, we got some problems, guaranteed they don't want it.
No, they don't want that. We old school G's, don't condone it. If you see something wicked, run up on it. And you know we ain't just talking, we done shown it. Baloney, G's, it's all gon' get ate. Ready for whatever I see you filled your plate. Simple shit like that will seal your lame ass face. Fuck around, hit your ass and end up late. Believe that. Ready to show them we don't need them, they thinking that we do. Ready to show them we gon' beat them, especially when you know it's you. Ready to show them we ain't playing, keep busting them across their head. Ready to show them we ain't playing, keep tripping on what we said. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The verdict is in MC and Big E. It's on the mic and we blowing big squeeze. Checking on niggas that's hating on weed. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The verdict is in MC and Big E. It's on the map and we blowing big squeeze. Checking on niggas that's hating on weed.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the same old place that you started from. Y'all know what it is. Musically Zone Talks Boxing. We got a lot of birthdays that's taking place in the month of April. Our brother D-Lo 404 Boxing has had a birthday this month. I want to give a shout out and say happy birthday to him. And also our other brother, Urge the Purge, has had a birthday in this month. Those April babies. And I have to give a special shout out, special shout out to my better half, the mother of my children, my wife. Her birthday will be tomorrow. So I'm giving out happy birthdays right now and saying the love is being spread, and I hope that you all had a great birthday and have a great birthday, whoever birthday is this month. And things just go well for you and continue to do that. Because I'm sure that things have turned out a lot better for you than they have for me, especially when it comes down to my picks in the Champ Ross. Yeah, I talked that talk last week. I called out Gil Coles. I called out Eric R. Told Gil Coles to jump on in too. And when I say that a battle, epic battle, I mean something that you could only imagine to take place in movies. It was fierce. Hands was flying everywhere. Sweat was popping all over the place. Kind of give you a reminiscent performance of Boots versus Stan Jonas, Earl versus Terrence Crawford, and any other beatdown that you would consider a beatdown. Maybe even Whitaker when he got pulled the guy out the ring, he was getting beat down too. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's glad to be sitting in the seat, getting a chance to kick it with my people. First up in the building, we got our brother Eric R. That's right. Y'all see the scrolling sign at the bottom, the Eric R. and Gil Cole Show. Let it not be a surprise that I am picking up where I left off before I got suspended. Anytime that I go into the ring and possibly, maybe, fall short a little bit, we're going to do like we was doing last year or the year before or whenever we was doing it. We're going to go ahead and give extra props to the person that won. Eric R., matter of fact, man, congratulations. You picked your ass off last week. Hell of a run. Hell of a run. He's saying salute. I'm saying salute right back. What else can I say? Other than I'm glad you're here. Just so you know, it's come to me that the Zone, I don't know why I'm doing this, but the Zone is offering to pick one to go all in for $90 exclusively on the Zone. Garcia versus Romo. Romero. I see Romo like we watching football, but we not watching football. We got Hyphy in the building. He said, MZ, who you calling to beat your ass fighter? At the moment, sir, I guess I have to say a beat your ass fighter. At least they showed themselves to be a beat your ass fighter. Would have to be Boots at this moment, sir. Going up against Stan Jonas, whom I thought would perform better than what he did. Not that he didn't perform good or well. He did all right. Barring that he had his after such a long time of not being in the ring. I'm not making up an excuse for him or anything, because that man made no excuses. He came right out there and he tried to do what he needed to do. He said, that's not what Brian Norman Sr. said. Yeah, well, what exactly did Brian Norman Sr. say? Because right now I know the buzz is going around. Napoleon Armstrong is in the building. What's going on? He said, salute, gang. Salute to you, man. And glad to see you in the house. Glad to see you in the house. Hyphy, I need to know what Brian Norman said, because I can't take anything away from the way Boots performed in his fight against Stan Jonas. I really can't. I can honestly say that as far as him saying that, that is Napoleon Armstrong. Napoleon Armstrong, happy birthday, man. I gave out some happy birthday wishes for all our April people that have birthdays, all our brothers. My wife's birthday is tomorrow. So congratulations, man. Happy birthday to you. I hope that you had a great time and everything's going well and will continue to go well throughout the year for you. I also sent out a shout to D-Lo 404 Boxing, whose birthday was the other day. And the same thing, same sentiments to him. I hope you guys had a wonderful day and continue to have it such. May you be blessed with success in what you do and keep things moving. Brian Norman said Jerron didn't hit hard. And Brian texts Bozzy, your son hit like an itch. So the only beat your ass fighter at 147 is Norman Jr. Well, Hyphy, this may be so, in your opinion. But right now, I have to go ahead and say, can you guys hear me clear enough? Because I've been noticing a lot of times that when the video starts off, I'm kind of low. I hope I'm up loud enough. I've tried to tweak the mic to make sure you guys can hear me well and everything like that. I don't know about Boots hitting like an itch, but I do know that he went out there, and I have to go ahead and say I have to take him at his word when he says that he doesn't get up for certain fighters, and when it's a fighter that he's supposed to be getting up for, that's when he really shines. His complaint also was he didn't get to fight for a belt, and this was a chance for him not only to fight for one belt but two belts and get the Ring magazine, which by consensus they say if you have the Ring magazine, you are the true champion of that division. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. He said, thanks, bro. Out now acting up. Falling through to support, though. Man, I surely appreciate that. Have fun, but be careful. Let me say that again. Have fun, but be careful. You never know. When the devil sees people are having fun, for some reason, somebody always lets him slide in and make things a little foolish for him, and they try to mess up things for everybody else. But do your thing, man. Do your thing, and always appreciate you sliding through the support. Stick around as long as you can. Interact with us in the chat. But do your thing, my player. Do your thing. He say, why didn't you tell me that Mrs. MZ's birthday? I pulled my punches. I'd have pulled my punches a little bit in the second and half. Oh my gosh. Really? That's what you... First of all, you had help. Let me go and put it like that, Eric. You had help. If it wasn't for Gil Coles standing in the ring, I'd duck up under your hook. He'd catch me with an uppercut. I block his uppercut, you catch me with a hook. But you know, I'm not going to get too deep into that, sir. I'm just going to slide back and let it happen. So why would you, he say, so why y'all couldn't get up for Norman fight? He got a real belt. I'm not saying Norman doesn't have a real belt. Actually, Norman went out there and did his thing. He fought well. But the spotlight honestly wasn't really shining bright on him to do well. Because I did say, you know, when he went out there and handled this business, he put a lot of that talk about pricing itself out and everything like that, which happened to pop back up because Boots made mention of you made 200,000 or some odd 100,000 for in your previous fights, and then you get offered 2 million and you turn it down, or should I say you get offered 2 million, and the question was, well, what would you do? You know what I'm saying? What would you do? Who would you fight? Would you continue to fight for the 100 mils, or would you go ahead and take that chance for the 2 million? That's what came out of the Boots camp. You know, I have to put that out there. I got my little hat on today to say what I need to say to bag up both sides of the argument. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else who seems to be listening, if you got some kind of pronoun you want to use, him, her, them, they, us, we, anymore? Oh, well, yeah, that's about it. Boots is the conversation right now, man. He the conversation piece. He went out there and handled his business. One more time just to make we should get it over, because they say the third time's a charm. He went out there and handled his business. He say, MZ, you can't listen to anything that team says. They lie all the time. Well, the same way I gave Brian Norman Jr. his props and said that he went out there and did what he needed to do to keep his belt and handle his business and got the stoppage. That's right. I said he got the stoppage last time we was talking about it. I said, hey, Boots and them going to have to correct the situation, correct the conversation, and just correct. Well, I thought the mighty Mantis Stanionis would be the one to go out there and see, which he was the one to go out there and check to see if he could frustrate Boots. If he can get Boots flustered where Boots would make a mistake. I must say, Boots came out and he looked ready. He looked good. He looked sharp. He looked fast. His foot movement was well. He did not let Stanionis get him, cut him off in the ring at no point of the fight. He was crisp. His jab looked good. He went to the body. He went to the head. He used a lot of different punches, a lot of different angles. In my opinion, he was faster. He used his length. He didn't give up his height, and he just boxed a great fight. Not that Stanionis wasn't game, because when Stanionis could throw some punches, he did not as solid as you would think, because I did notice that Boots has that turn his head with the punch, which takes a lot of sting off of the punches, and he just looked good, man. He just looked good, and we got to give him his props. I can't shoot him down or disrespect the showing that he showed. He really tenderized Stanionis to the body. I mean, tenderized him, and you could tell that the body punches were starting to work on him. And as one of the announcers said, the body work could be Stanionis' kryptonite. I'm not too sure about how many fighters that the body punches just consistently coming unimpeded. I don't know how many people could stand up to that kind of onslaught. And what was it? 1, 2, the three chained uppercut to send Stanionis down to one knee. Oh man, that was the starting of the end. I will say that I was a little disappointed that the corner threw in a towel instead of letting him come out to try to get one more round. They had him to retire in the corner, which kind of sucks. It sucks for me. I don't know how anybody else felt about it, but that really sucked for me, because I would have liked to have seen Stanionis come out one more time and get, he had his nose busted. It was, bleeding and everything. But other than that, honestly, do you guys think that he was in that kind of trouble where they should have shut it down? Some people, I'm sure, are going to say, yes, they should have shut it down. Boots was really showing out, really pulling away and doing his thing. I can't even argue with it. I have to give Boots high praise on the opponent that he faced. It was the best, in my opinion, the best step-up fight for him at this moment in time, seeing that he didn't go up to 154, he stayed at 147. People had their wonders about if he was weight drained. I, for one, thought because he was holding the IBF belt that they would have that 10-pound rehydration clause. But it's come to my understanding and knowledge, that if more than one belt is on the line, that is not, what am I trying to say? That is not enforced when more belts are involved. So with that being said, him being drained down, he said he got him, him being drained down was not a case, not a problem in the fight. Mike Lava in the house. Great to see you in the house, man. He said, MKE, glad to see you in the spot. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for stopping through. I'm glad we got your attention, and, converse with us inside the comment section and see how things go. Help drive the conversation about the fights. As I was saying, as far as Boots go, man, let me apologize to the Boots team for right now for saying that, I think his mental was kind of weak. He showed that his mental was strong. He did not get flustered. Once again, he did not get flustered in that fight. He showed us that he had skills from doing what he said. Eric R says, I'm not going to give it high praise. I respect the win, no doubt, but I'm not going to act like the other guy wasn't coming off from being inactive. True and understandable. I don't want to diminish his accomplishments because Stanionis is coming off of such a long, coming off of the long layoff. But at the same time, you gotta you take what you get. You take what you get. It's not Stanionis' fault. I believe that he had to stay out for so long. We know he had kept getting set back because of another fighter had illnesses that kept holding up the fight. But as far as him staying in shape as well as he could, fight in shape as well as he could, he went out there and he showed as well as he could. Boots just was ready. He was ready. I'm not gonna put cables on it, but he went out there and showed his fans exactly what they needed and wanted to see. He went out there and showed them a fast, sharp, crisp, clean Jerron Boots Ennis that unified the belts at 147 pounds. There's only 2 champions left to deal with, and that would be Brian Norman Jr. and Marios El Azteca Barrios. Bozy said that they would not wait on these guys. If these guys got to playing games of trying to be peekaboo and stuff like that, they would not wait. They would move on. I'm not gonna say I can see into the future. I'm not quite sure what move on means. But if you're not going to, if the other champions start tripping, I would have to guess that move on would be meaning move up. That would be my guess. Not for sure if that is. Bernie the Boxer says Jerron always getting hit a lot, and he be getting his clock clean. Bernie everybody says that. We said that because we saw Boots take some licks and some take some punches in some fights that we felt like he shouldn't have taken. But we say that about a lot of fighters, especially when they carry the moniker that they're going to be one of the men, one of the names, one of those guys. Whenever we start putting that moniker on them, we seem to say, hey, he getting hit too much. He getting hit too much. At one point, we were saying that about Bud. Bud's getting hit too much. Actually, we said that before he fought Earl. He gets hit too much and things like that. And what if Earl catches him like that? What would happen? Well, we seen what would happen with him and Terrence Crawford and Earl. And this time we saw what would happen with Stanionis and Boots. Stanionis did land some shots, but like I said, Boots was adapting well enough to be able to take some of those shots, take the sting off by turning with them. If any of them landed flush, he also showed us something that people were worrying about, if he had a chin. Which in my opinion, and right now at this case, standing in case in front of everybody, he does. And it's going to take a special fighter with skills and pop and tenacity and skill, ring generalship to prove him otherwise. That's my opinion. I don't see Boots falling off to somebody unless, and I'm going to say this because this is something that he says, I would prefer him to always be able to get up to whoever he's getting ready to fight. Every fighter should be considered dangerous and a danger when they step into the ring. You shouldn't have to fight to get yourself up to whoop somebody. Even if you have to whoop them twice, go out there and whoop their ass better than the first time. He says that better mean move up to 54, stating if the other champions start tripping and them not waiting around. He said, Bud getting hit a lot too. This is true. That's what I'm saying. We say that about fighters that we tend to have our eyes on and have our eyes on them. We start being strict and real picky about what they do, how they do it. What I can say is Philadelphia should be very proud of Jerron Boots Ennis and what he did and how he took care of his business, because he did just that. He shut me up totally. Boots seems to get hit more by unnecessary shots, that he is more than capable of deflecting or evading. It just happens sometime, man. I guess I can't really say why. The myth of European susceptible. Damn, that just jumped. Susceptibility to body shots remains, in Armstrong's opinion. Body shots. Oh, I didn't drop the link. My bad, bro. I thought that was in the the Discord. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna keep on pumping it out and get this shot in there for y'all, so my brothers can join. Once again, this is a happy birthday night, happy birthday week for Napoleon Armstrong, D-Lo 404 Boxing, and as Eric R calls her, Miss MZ. Yes, her birthday is tomorrow. Our brother Napoleon Armstrong's birthday, I believe, was yesterday, and D-Lo's was the day before that. Like I said, happy birthday, and once again, happy birthday to my brothers. Let me get this link put up here. Bam. Copy that. But yeah, man, Boots did his thing. I ain't mad at him. I ain't putting cables on it. I have to accept anybody that got some crow. I got crow being delivered. I'm going to eat mine. I hate spaghetti, so I might as well eat my crow with some spaghetti and some fries. Y'all got a dessert for me. Go ahead and send it over. What the hell is it? There you go. And bam. There you go. Don't want that. There we go. All right, bro. The link is in the Discord. I thought I had sent it in there when I set up the first setup, but apparently I made a mistake. Oh, it's today. My bad, man. Happy birthday today. Your birthday is the day before my wife's birthday, and I will let her know that you said that. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. As I was saying, Boots went out there and against Stan Jonas, he became a beat your ass fighter. He beat him to the punch. He beat him to everything. He beat him to the point where his corner called it off. Who's the boss? After that performance, I got Jerron ranked at number 2 in the division. Oh, that's pretty good, Hype. I would have thought you would have still held him down. But it would be number 2? Really? Number 2? With that performance? Let me guess. Brian Norman Jr. is number 1. And where do you place Mario Barrios? 4? 3? 5? I'm just curious, I want to know where you place that guy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my brother by another mother and father, Trey X, the man that can call a frog from a whale, has slid into the building. Come on in here, man. Kick it with a brother for a minute. Let's have some conversation. What's going on?
Salute, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. What's going down? Yeah, jumped on to talk about this Boots Ennis, man. That was a breakout party for me. I'm going to go and put cables on it. I was very impressed by that shit. I know he took a couple of shots, flush shots too. I know you talking about he turning his head with it and all that old type of shit, but I saw some left hooks and shit that were landing clean. But the motherfucker got a chin, man. He is a true beat your ass fighter, and sometimes fighters like that gonna take punches. He kind of remind me of the greatest beat your ass fighter of all times, Sugar Ray Robinson. I remember when Floyd Mayweather Sr. was talking about how Sugar Ray Robinson take a lot of punches, and he feel like his son is probably the better fighter. You know what I'm saying? He got a little bit more grace than Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray trying to come and put them triple left hooks on you and just beat the hell out you. You know what I'm saying? But he gonna take punches. Like if you go back and look at his fight, I want to say it was either Carmen Basilio or Gene Foreman. He took 25 unanswered punches against the ropes, and the Mayweather's held that against him. You know what I'm saying? If you'll beat your ass fighter, man, you're gonna take punches. But that motherfucker Ennis, man, I'm talking about he was doing his little half a step back and coming back with that left uppercut from the southpaw stance. Stan Jonas running straight into that shit. Don't see the punch coming. I said that last time. I said, man, he gonna get hit with some shit that he don't see coming. He was able to go to the body on a shorter man with a small area to punch on. That shit was very impressive. If he fight a bigger motherfucker with more surface area, it's gonna be even worse. And it looked like he was just having fun in there. It ain't even look like he was just taking this shit too seriously. I think the fact that he didn't have to cut the extra 10 pounds or he didn't have the 10-pound cap. I think that shit helped him. He looked stronger. He was definitely motivated for the fight for sure. He will beat the hell out of Brian Norman Jr. Them motherfuckers better keep on coming with these demands, talking about we need to go home with take home $1 million and all this old kind of shit. They better come with that. Cause they gonna get their ass beat, I promise you. He don't have nothing for no Ennis, man. Square business. That was a hell of a statement for me. I don't give a damn about the layoff. I mean, I ain't gonna say I just don't give a damn, but I know how Stanion is gonna come. Like, it don't matter if he off a layoff or he been active. He gonna come with his hands up good. He gonna come behind a jab. He gonna step in with the jab and get his weight on the front foot. He gonna try to rumble with you a little bit. He gonna try to go to the body. I know how he gonna come. I don't think there's nothing he could have done to stay in there with no Ennis. And it showed in the common opponent, Thomas Delorme. Ennis go 1 round with the motherfucker, get him out of there. Stanionis go 12. Man, people, I really should just shut the fuck up and quit talking. Because like people like to say the triangle theory, it don't work. Man, that shit is potent. I can only think of one time where a common opponent fight, it didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go. And that was a fucking rematch between Better Beef and Bivol. Better Beef won the first time. They common opponent was Joe Smith Jr. You know what I'm saying? That shit potent, man. That shit trumps the pedigree scale. I wouldn't give a fuck if it was a 5 going against a 0.5. If the motherfuckers got a common opponent and you see a wide discrepancy in their performances, go with that guy that had the tighter performance. That motherfucker gonna win most of the time. But yeah, salute to Ennis, man. I'm looking forward to see what's happening next. I hope it's Brian Norman Jr. because he gonna get his ass whooped, square business.
Man, like you said, I wasn't putting cables on it. The man handled his business and took care of what he needed to take care of.
I'm putting cables on it. How the fuck we gonna sit up there and say this a big fight? We looking forward to it. This might be his biggest test and all this kind of shit. And then when he go in there and shine like new money, we don't want to put cables on it now. Like, no, that was an outstanding performance against an Olympian. 141-19. Motherfucker that went out there and broke down Razal Butayev and all that kind of shit. That's who that was. I still think Stanionis got action at beating Brian Norman Jr. though. I'm just not a big believer in him. I mean, this ain't Giovanni Santillan. Now one of them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna put cables on it, man. That motherfucker's a hell of an athlete. He can do some shit that other fighters can't do. He got them long ass arms, and he don't cheat the sport. That's one of the main things about him. He don't cheat the sport. You can feel how you want to feel about him, but that motherfucker gonna train. He ain't gonna party. He ain't gonna drink. He ain't gonna smoke. He gonna stay in the gym, whether he working on his own game or he helping somebody else. He just loved this shit. He loved boxing, and I think that shit came to the forefront this past Saturday. I was amazed. I'm sitting up there smoking out my vaporizer, just really couldn't believe what I was seeing. You know what I'm saying? I picked Ennis by decision. I didn't think he was gonna stop him, especially in those 6 rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He got out there and he showed out. The thing that one of the things I pointed at is, you know, him saying, "Hey man, I just couldn't get up for those other fighters. They weren't there." He really showed that when a lot was on the line, his chance to really fight for belts. I'm just not fighting to protect my belt. I got a chance to take the Ring magazine and what was it, WBA up off of Stanionis, and he performed. The hand speed, the foot, the movement. He just looked good out there. His ring generalship was on point. Shoot, I can gush over the dude's performance against Stanionis. I'm not disappointed in Stanionis in no way, shape, form, or fashion because he kept on fighting. He did what he was supposed. He did what he tried to do what he practiced on, but Boots was able to show that I'm a couple of notches ahead of you, homeboy. And the Brian Norman situation. Before I even say that, let me say salute to Gil Coles and D-Lo 404 Boxing.
Salute.
Man, he just did what he needed to do. The Brian Norman, like I said, I told Hyphy earlier, you know, I caught Boots saying, you know, Brian Norman them, they fight for a few 100,000. You know, they get a chance to fight for 2 million to fight me. What you gonna do? So that coming back up with that again. But Brian Norman gonna have to really go out there and show. Now I heard some of the other boxers, some boxers say, well, Brian Norman got some power, he might be able to. No, if his ass can't go out there and box, his ass gonna be in trouble. And Hyphy not gonna like that. He said he up there lying his ass off, beat the hell out of Brian. Yeah, after what he showed and him stepping up, Brian and his dad are poking the bear right now. They were poking the bear before this situation even popped up. People just didn't have a chance to see what kind of bear he was poking. But him going out there, Boots that is, and doing what he did to Stanley Jonas, it lets me know they are poking a bear. And if they don't be careful, they're going to get what they're asking for. You know, it's not like you can make a whole bunch of other fights now. This man got 2 belts and the Ring magazine. It's only 2 belts left. If him and his camp get to calling out the other 2 champions, Hyphy, how your boy gonna answer? I don't know. I believe Mario Barrios will step up, but the fight that people are really getting ready to say is where Brian Norman and his pops at. It's time for them to step up. I don't want to hear nothing about no money and all this kind of stuff. It's time for y'all to step up. Y'all say y'all better than Boots. Y'all say y'all did this in sparring. Y'all got his number. Y'all, all the different things that you see. It's time for that crap to come to the front for and let us see what's going to happen. That's what I wanted to know.
Brian Norman Jr. already said he got his ass whooped in sparring by Boots. I don't know what his pops then came back and said or none of that shit, but he said himself that he got his ass whooped by Boots in sparring. He know what's up with this guy, man. This motherfucker Brian Norman Jr. was a 5-1 underdog when he fought against Santillan. What fighter can you put Boots in and make him a 5-1 underdog? He gonna be a fucking favorite against anybody in the welterweight division. He gonna be the favorite against most niggas at 154. That's what I say you should do. Just go ahead and go to 154. Don't even play with these motherfuckers. Act like they don't want to fight. Go to 154 and do your thing in a more comfortable weight class where everybody about the same size. But yeah, I don't see Norman doing nothing with him. Not saying I don't want to see the fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that ass whooping. But he ain't got nothing for that guy. They doing a good job trying to negotiate and get the best price for this ass whooping that they gonna get. Square business.
Which say they trying to get the most money before they sell the belts, like people were saying Mario and them was gonna do. They're gonna just sell the belts, so you're gonna have to come with that paper. No, shoot, I think looking at if Boo say, you know, forget them and move up, I know a hell of a people gonna be like, oh, Boo's and them ran from the smoke. And I'm gonna straight say right now, I don't believe that. Looking at the landscape of the welterweights and going back through the names that are welterweights that would mean anything, none of them I think is on that level with the speed, the movement, any of it. Brian Norman, he got heart, but heart ain't gonna be enough. He gonna have to have skills. Boots got some skills, man. He's athletic too, and like you said, the boy can take a punch. He can take a punch. Now I'm understanding why his dad was just saying, just go on out there and knock him out. Get that shit over with. He just couldn't get it that night. The stars wasn't aligned. Chuka John got away. Actually, Karen came out there and made people think that made them think less of Boots. Give Boots some flaws that he really don't have. And Boots had to show us and remind people, hey, when y'all start talking about me like y'all was, I am that. And when he went out there and dealt with my boy Stanley Jonas, he showed that. I had no argument with you saying that you think that he'd beat up Brian Norman. I won't even say that Brian Norman to make it to the end of the fight. I'm finna go ahead and make Hyphy mad. I think Brian Norman will get stopped. Because his dad I don't think his dad got it in him to throw the towel in, so he'll let his son get mauled out there. Just get mauled, and I think Boots will enjoy doing it.
Yeah, hopefully we get a chance to see it, man. What'd he say?
He said that he cheated us out of the Virgil fight. No, he didn't. I'm gonna say if he had a went and took the Virgil fight, yeah, we would have been like, okay, he handled his business on that. But on the same note, people would have held it against him and said he didn't handle his business in 147 and become undisputed. I know they would have did that because some rumblings when they was talking about moving, Earl wouldn't leave until he had the chance for the undisputed. So Boots staying there, being able to lose the weight, like you said, Trey, it's a good thing that the IBF didn't enforce the 10-pound clause like they would if they were just fighting for their belt. Because I'm seeing now that when they unify, they don't have to do that. That helped him getting a nutritionist, saying that he got a nutritionist for the first time, and he was like, "Man, I'm on weight. I feel great." All that sounded real good to me, and if that's what he's going to be using as the formula to move forward, I say, don't waste 2 years on trying to fight with these boys. Use a normal allotted time if you can. Negotiate with both of them at the same time. Whichever fish bite first, go ahead and do your business. And if Brian Norman is not the one to bite first and he want to be last and he be bullshitting, leave him standing there bullshitting and let him deal with the other fighters that's coming up. Move on up, like you said, to 154 and have you some great fights and keep your legacy going. Don't let that be a hiccup for you. Don't let the Normans be a hiccup for your greatness. Yeah, I like the way that sounds.
I got respect for Virgil. He a good ass fighter, 140 and 20, Olympian and all that kind of shit. But it's really lucky for him that he ain't fought against this guy. I don't think no high guard fighter gonna beat Jerron Ennis. I think you're gonna have to be a little bit more complex than that. A high guard fighter with head movement and the jab and shit, I don't think that's gonna be enough. And plus, when I saw Virgil Ortiz fight Boachuk, I saw a different side of him because he had respect for his power. So if he get in front of Ennis, he definitely gonna have respect for his power too. And I expect to see a different version of Virgil Ortiz that we normally see. And as far as the Chuka John fights, I can't even hold that against Ennis. I took Ennis by decision in the fights. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew Chuka John could fight like a motherfucker. I saw him stopping people that I didn't expect to see him stop. We picked him in the Champ Ross a whole bunch of times. So going into that fight, I had a pretty good understanding of who Chuka John was. Most people didn't do their homework on the shit, so you know they had a lot of bad things to say about Ennis. But I respected the guy going into the fight. You know what I'm saying? Wish we would have put some money on them plus 500 odds that they had for the fight to go the distance. I didn't have enough conviction to bet my money, but I did take a decision in the Champ Ross. You know what I'm saying? But right. Yeah, man, I think this motherfucker Ennis is a bad dude. I'm not saying he's perfect because he can be hit, but I just understand the nature of a beat your ass fighter is just what it is. They're gonna put themselves in the path of danger from time to time just so they can get to you and put some hard shots on you. And if you want to go to the body against somebody like Stan Jonas with a smaller surface area to hit on, he's gonna have to take some chances. Sometimes you do frame and pose for a picture after you get some good work off, and he like to admire his work a little bit. That's when I see him get caught. But all that kind of shit can improve as he keep on fighting top level competition. He keep on learning, keep on working. I think the motherfucker is gonna be a hell of a fighter. I think he got some of the best talent that I've seen in a long time.
I feel you on that. And with that being said, y'all hold that note. Let me introduce the man that helps you think outside the box, the voice of reason, my brother and yours from another mother and father, D-Lo, 404 Boxing is in the building. Come on in and have a seat.
What's up, y'all? What's going on?
What's going on?
Salute.
What's up? Salute. Yeah, I ain't got nothing on it right now. I'm trying to get situated. I just want to go on and get on in the queue and get on the show. I'm gonna listen for a couple minutes and I'm gonna get in.
All right. Well, going through, it goes back when you speaking about no high guard fighter gonna beat Boots. It takes me back to when we were speaking about one of the things that beats talent is hard work and fundamentals. That's what our coach used to say. You can have the fundamentals, which we agreed that Stanley Jonas had. But Boots, for me, showed he didn't crack in the way he thought. He didn't let nothing in the fight frustrate him because there was nothing in the fight too frustrating. And when you got a little shine and pizzazz to what you got athletically, you can overcome the fundamentals. And he showed that. And Virgil, you saying that Virgil started respecting power. Imagine Hyphy, because you brought it up. Imagine this man ducking and dodging, half step back and catching you with shots left and right and hard shots, just picking you apart. Cause I did notice it looked like he literally was having fun messing with Stan. It looked like he enjoyed being under the light. Let me put it like that. If I have to put it like anything, this boy to me, meaning Boots, not boy, this young man seems to thrive when the lights are shining and it's supposed to be something in front of him that's really some competition. And couple that with being a champion and a dad and a lot of people that got some confidence in you, to feed that within you, when you already thinking you great, this boy gonna be an issue. He gonna be an issue. This is what I'm seeing right now as my eye test goes. And knowing about the fighters, all the fighters that be like really whooping your ass and stuff like that, they enjoy that light. They enjoy being in that light. What the hell is going on?
They say talent, they say hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Well, this is a talent that works hard. His idea of having fun is going to the fucking gym and slamming sledgehammers on tires. I done seen him talk about this shit. I know he ain't gonna cheat the sport, man. He is a very hard worker. That's what got me believing in the motherfucker. I mean, I just had to see it against the top level for me to really get behind it. But I see how hard he work and shit, man. He like to go to the gym. That's his idea of having fun. He ain't out chasing the women. He ain't out wearing purses and all that shit like these other dudes. That motherfucker's about being in the gym. And I can't do nothing but respect that, man. This is talent that works harder than everybody else for the most part. Yeah, that's like Mayweather. Mayweather had the talent, go out there and outwork everybody. This motherfucker live in the gym. That's what his family was talking about. As a matter of fact, on the they did a little reality little build up for the fight. And I really got some bad vibes because I saw his brother. They was in a restaurant and it was Ennis and his brother. And he gave Ennis his flowers because he was saying how hard he worked, how dedicated he is. His brothers, he said his brothers weren't dedicated. And that showed him that they had the talent, but they didn't work hard enough. So he wanted to make sure that he would be the opposite of that. And his brothers gave him some credit for staying down and staying disciplined and staying as a hard worker. You know what I'm saying? That shit can take you far, man. It really can.
And when you got backing, when your family backs you up and it's genuine love, that will push you to do great things. Cause you're right. I saw the exact episode you talking about, him and his brother sitting, the bigger brother sitting at the table. Cause the conversation went a little deeper when the brothers could have been good. They could have been something. They like you said, they messed it up. They didn't stay dedicated. And him being a gym rat, being in the gym, who are the fighters that we usually get to giving a lot of big praises to when we see that? We said that about Chance Crawford. We said that about Beterbiev. We said that about Bivol. We everybody know it about Floyd Mayweather. Am I tripping or am I telling the truth here? Fighters that show us that they be in the gym, they not drinking and drugging. I haven't seen any of these guys on the camera do that. Not a one. Working at times that are mind-boggling. Floyd was, if I have to say, the GOAT of being in the gym and just running. I can give that to him because he showed us practically running at 3 a.m, running at 6 a.m, 2 p.m. Anytime he decided he was gonna run, he was running. Or we seen him. I can't remember really seeing him at a time unless it was a video where he's showing off his money and his rings, watches and stuff. But for the most part, you see his ass, he's working on something. And I think Boots and him is following the same trail. And like I said, that light, if they like that light, man, that's gonna really make them do something.
I don't see him following the same trail. And I don't consider Mayweather to be the GOAT of that working hard shit. How can I give him more credit for running at 6 a.m. because he been clubbing all night over a guy like Terrence Crawford that don't go to the club in the first place? This motherfucker just stay in the gym and he stay working. Ennis, he ain't going to the club in the first place. He ain't got no reason to run at 6 a.m. on the way home from the club in his dress shoes. He didn't go in the first place. This motherfucker went to the gym, went home, had dinner, and went to bed. How the fuck can I give Mayweather the edge over that? I do respect Mayweather. Don't get me wrong. Don't take what I'm saying out of context. Like he definitely deserves respect, but I can't take that over somebody that don't party at all. Like he ain't out chasing the women and all that kind of shit. This motherfucker is at the gym and at the house or on the road doing his road work. I get at the edge. Same thing like I said with Crawford. I get at the edge. The motherfuckers ain't partying at all. They ain't even around this shit. They not staying up late. Like we can say what we want to say, but getting your sleep, getting your rest, and getting your recovery is a big part of this shit. And if a motherfucker is instead of being out 2, 3 in the morning, they at home in a bed somewhere, I'm gonna give them the edge.
Okay. Only way I'll combat that a little bit is by saying when Mayweather was young, I'm thinking he was on that same trail. After he became Mayweather, a point that nobody could touch as far as popularity, money, making, and all that kind of stuff, he started doing that thing. Not to mention, I know Boots single, but Crawford, I'll get him to go because he married. And he ain't doing none of that stuff, and he in the gym, and he helping other people when he training and on that. So, okay,
it's the opposite. So you mean to tell me the man that's married and got a reason to not be out partying, he gets the edge over the single man that don't have them restrictions, can do whatever he want to do, don't answer to nobody, but he chooses not to do that and just stay on the straight and narrow. That don't even make sense.
You have to understand because you ain't married. I have to give him the extra. I ain't saying it was the better of the two, cause yeah, him not having a wife, and he can travel how he want, but he choose to just make the gym his girlfriend and home. That's freaking awesome. That's an anomaly as far as youngsters go in the sport, any kind of sport. So yeah, I get you on that. But I'm giving Terrence extra prop because I'm like, here he is, a millionaire doing this. He's staying fruitful and straight to his wife, his woman, his kids, and he doing that. So yeah, that's what I was getting on that. I wasn't saying it was better. I was just making the
it's a reason why it's a reason why businesses prefer to hire married men over single men, because they got more control over married men. Married men, they got more to lose. They don't want to go home without a check to baby. So they'll bend over backwards for the business. The single man is easy for him to say, fuck y'all, I'm going about my business because I ain't tied down to nothing. There's no obligation that I have that makes me have to bend over backwards for y'all. So fuck y'all, I'm gone. They got more freedom. If a motherfucker got more freedom and he choosing to have discipline, I got to give him the edge. If a motherfucker married, yeah, I know I ain't married, so you gonna say, well, you can't speak on this because you ain't married. But I know that married men got obligations that single men don't have. And them obligations can make them sit down somewhere instead of being out late at night in the club and shit like a single man. But if I got a young single guy that's not out here chasing the women, that's not out here clubbing, that's not out here partying, this motherfucker is strictly about the gym and home and sleep and getting himself ready for his fights, I'm giving him the edge.
Yeah,
he ain't even trying to start no record label. Mayweather trying to start record labels and all kind of shit when he was young. You were Filthy Rich Records, right? I started to put that in the trivia one day. Filthy Rich. This nigga ain't trying to be no hip hop icon and none of that shit. This nigga just want to train and fight.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. Like, to me, I tilt my hat off to anybody who is married to their craft. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, not to say that they neglect everything else in life, but they're pouring into their craft so they can get the most out of it. You know what I'm saying? Especially like a sport where you only have a small window or short prime. You only have a small window to get the absolute best that you can get out of it. And I look at it like so many fighters, especially because looking at it like it's not quote unquote team sport. And you look at how so many of these guys or just like Ennis said about his brothers, you look at like, man, these guys had the talent, but they didn't really put the hard work in. You see glimpses of it every once in a while, and they say, man, like my favorite heavyweight. Guys say, a lot of the experts say Riddick Bowe, when he was in shape, focused at his best, they felt like he could beat any heavyweight in history. But when he wasn't on, it didn't take, they felt like he could get beat by somebody who really wasn't even on his level. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at stuff like that, and then you look at all these woulda, coulda, shoulda been stories in sports in general, where guys just didn't consistently put in the work. I can't do nothing but take my hat off to these guys who actually go out there, go hard, not just when they got a fight, but when they don't have a fight. And I look at, like, one thing I'll say that Terry Crawford and Ennis have in common, they also like working with other fighters when they don't have a fight going on. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't just about self-development. It's about developing others, which I think in turn help you also develop, even if it's just from a mental standpoint. And I'm not saying that are only two. I'm sure there's a lot of guys we don't know about what the work they put in and how dedicated they are to the sport. But because these two examples on the table, I just want to point that out and just show my appreciation for it, because I feel like Trey X, you said the perfect word, perfect phrase, cheat the sport. You know what I'm saying? These guys ain't trying to cheat the sport, and we know a lot of fighters who not only cheat the sport, they really cheat themselves. You know what I'm saying? By cheating the sport. And then in turn cheat the fans who support them. You know, it's kind of like how we got these guys in the NBA doing this load management stuff. You don't want to go to a fight and you finally get your coins up to go to a fight to go watch your favorite fighter, and he don't show up that night because he didn't take it serious in camp. He overlooked his opponent. He wanted to go out and party and drink too much. So he show up, he missed weight, all of that stuff. So that's something when you look at a fighter like Ennis, you ain't got to worry about none of that. You know, regardless of what the outcome is, you got a fighter who's going to go out there and give his all. And I tip my hat off to him on that. Now, you know what I'm saying? Every day.
No argument here.
And another thing, we might not know about the other guys that work as hard because they don't have the talent. See, when you got major talent, that can make you relax a little bit because you can just rely on your talent to carry you through. But these fighters like Terrence Crawford and Ennis, they not saying I'm just going to relax and rely on my talent. They saying I'm going to work harder than everybody else regardless. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at, man. That I can't do nothing but respect that, man. That motherfucker hard working. He ain't even on social media. He talked about that on that little, not documentary, but the little reality TV little build up little 24/7 type little show that they did with him and Stan Youngis. Yeah. He not even on social media at all. Like, come on, man, this dude in this day and age, he's not on social media. He's not posting his life and trying to paint a picture of what his life is, and he ain't doing none of that, bro. He is worried about being.
Don't believe everything he say. Don't believe everything he say. He on social media. He might not be on the right.
Is he posting like them other niggas be posting though? No, is it sporadic or is he like living on there?
No, I mean, I've seen him on there arguing with people. You know what I'm saying? I heard he was arguing with Stan Youngis a while back before they met. You know, before his last fight or the fight before that. But at the same time, I look at it like this: if somebody's on social media, but they got the discipline to shut it off and focus on what they're doing, I think that's even more commendable than somebody who wasn't on it. Because some people ain't on social media because they say their thing. But for the ones who actually get on it and can put it down and do what they're supposed to do, man, I have to respect that, man, because the social media is just as addictive as, you know, some of these habits people have. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like if you got something, because it could be considered a vice. If you got something that you look at as a vice, and when you know it's time to get down to business, you shut it completely off, even if it's just when you go to camp or when you're in pre-camp or when you in negotiation, whatever it is. I tip my hat off to him for that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times I have looked at guys have fights, they're on social media. I'm like, man, you need to be training. What are you going back and forth with this dude on social media for? You know what I'm saying? Why you worried about what every fan say about you and you got a fight coming up in 2 days? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's definitely a plus if they can shut it down and really focus on what they got to focus on, because You know what I'm saying? Any distractions when you're going into a fight, you know what I'm saying? It's shown, history has shown that, it can cause a problem for him on fight night.
All right, I stand corrected on that. And we'll, instead of not being on social media at all, we'll demote him to LeBron James status, that when it's time to go to war, he goes 0 dark 30.
Yes, sir.
Like you said, and we'll give him some credit on that. It
Yeah.
might not be no A+, no social media credit, but we're gonna give him some B+, 0 dark 30 credit.
And ain't nothing wrong with somebody being on social media. I mean, it's the era we live in, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not even knocking him saying that's somehow. I just look at it like this. He young, right? And I'm not trying to call the man a liar. I think when you're young and impressionable and you're kind of thinking about what people want to hear from you and what you want to see, I think sometimes these fighters, that's why we have a lot of these fighters contradict themselves, because they are media personalities or whatever you want to call it, semi-celebrities or whatever. So I think sometimes they get caught up in saying things and don't realize what they say. Just like how even in these post-fight interviews, I think sometimes these fighters put their foot in their mouth, you know what I'm saying? And then later on, when somebody trying to hold them to it, they don't even remember what they said, you know what I'm saying? Because they were caught up in that moment. And I think sometimes when these guys trying to, really paint a picture of how dedicated they are, or how this or how that, sometimes they might embellish just a little bit. That's all.
And then they could tell me anything. Yeah, they could tell me anything because I'm just on YouTube and Facebook.
Hey, you ain't looking for it. Yeah. I be seeing it on, and what it is, I don't be on the mobiles either. I be seeing it what folks be posting on Facebook. They were posting the back and forth between Ennis and Stanley. That's how I saw that. You know what I'm saying? But I also know that I done seen interviews where Ennis bring up stuff that he done seen on social media. But somebody could have brought it to him, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I didn't cut off MZ twice, man. What you about to say, OG, on your own shit?
Yeah, let me shut up.
Well, shoot, y'all carrying the conversation. I'm enjoying. I'm mediating like they do on Stephen A. Smith and all that. What I was gonna bring up, you know what I'm saying? What I was gonna bring up is the young thing, him not saying I don't be on social media. He might have just forgot to say I don't be on social media like that. I'm sure the youngsters probably picked that up. Older people probably missed it and said, yeah, he said he ain't never been on there. I can get that. It is commendable, like you saying, D-Lo, that for such a young crop, because you can see both sides of this. You can see it with Jerron, because he's one of the youngest, where he's not on social media like that, and then look at Devin Ryan Tank, the other stars that are.
And Shakur.
Yeah,
they were going Shakur so bad about being on social media that he basically took it and tried to spin it, you know what I'm saying, and put what was it calling him Twitterson or something?
Twitterson.
Yeah, that's what they call him. Yeah.
So, with that being said, and with being able to look at it like that, seeing those top fighters, and then you looking at Boots, I'm gonna still throw Terrence in there, even though he's an older. He got a little more maturity up under him. Boots versus those youngsters, you truly see the difference. And him choosing to not be on social media the way they do and being in the gym helping other fighters and continue to work like that is a good thing. Now, we hear that Devin and all the rest of them do that. The only ones I would believe that probably close to it, but not quite there, would be Shakur and Keyshawn. Because I know they work with Terrence, and I think by working with him, it will make you, when he say he's showing up to the gym and he in the gym, it will make you want to be there because you want to be as good as him. At least that's, when I played basketball, that's what it was. When somebody was in the gym that I felt like had something that I didn't have, I'm in there. I'm in there trying to figure out how you do that drop step spin, figuring that out. So I see what you're saying, D-Lo, with the social media. So yeah, I wouldn't demote Boots down to what you said, Trey, a B+.
No, I was just saying in that particular instance, as far as no social media presence, I would consider that an A+. But him having a minimum social media presence and he able to go 0 dark 30 when it's time to handle business, I say that's about a B+. Maybe an A- if you want to be real generous, but I give him a B+ as far as that aspect of it. But overall, I think he's still an A-level dedication guy.
I agree with that. I agree with that. And I'll bump that B minus I mean that B plus to an A minus, because I think Zero Dark 30 is worthy of a B minus. I mean an A minus. You know, something that D'Lo had put up in there before I started moving down the chat. After Stanionis got knocked down, the way he was standing there looking at Boots when Boots was going back to the corner, you know, since the camera was to his back, people probably thought he was saying, man, this finna go down up in here, because that's how D'Lo thought. Now that the fight has happened, I'm thinking he's standing there saying, what the fuck did I get myself into? I should have been taking some other fights. Did he just go to my body and then hit me 3 uppercuts and make me take a knee? Let me get over here to the corner and find out what the hell really happened. That's what was going through his head, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I still believe what I thought, you know what I'm saying, at that time. I felt like, you know, he finna come out there. He probably gonna go out on it, you know what I'm saying? Hey, he might have got stopped in that round, but he looked like he was ready to engage in warfare. But
and stopped him.
And
his people stopped him.
Yeah, when he went in that corner, man, and I think that dude started whispering in his head, telling him, hey, man, he got a baby on coming, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I could hear some of it, and he was like, I'm going to start the fight. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And look, I'm not going to, I mean, I know the term quit gets thrown around, and, you know what I'm saying, I try to stay away from that term, you know what I'm saying, because I don't want to be inconsistent and say when it's one person, I'm going to call them a quitter. When it's somebody I like, I don't want to say they quit. But I will say that, like with the Wilder situation, right? I've stood firm on my belief that Wilder's trainer, Mark Breland, did what he felt was in the best interest of the fighter. And I felt like one of the biggest mistakes Wilder made in his career, maybe the biggest, was his reaction to Breland doing what he did and everything, the fallout behind it. All right. You know, so when I look at that situation, I'm like, respect your trainer. He see what you don't see. Yeah, you in the ring taking the punch, but you're not looking at what your trainer looking at. And you hired the trainer for a reason. You know what I'm saying? You should trust, you know, to have a level of trust, regardless of these packs in the group, man. Ain't nobody trying to look your kids in the face and explain why they didn't stop a fight. When you know what I'm saying, when you get done, you know, end up a different person or don't come home. So in this situation, I looked at it like, I don't know Stanionis' relationship with his trainer. I know a lot of times these foreign guys, these people they work with, they've been working with a long time, or they're very close to them like family. And if, you know, it might be a situation where, you know what I'm saying, regardless of how he felt, he trusted what his trainer was telling him. And he just, like, you know, he ain't the type person gonna sit there and argue with his trainer and say, no, I'm gonna go out there. But I will say that as a spectator, as a fan, I was disappointed that, you know, he didn't go back out there, but I don't know the dynamic of their relationship. I know who initiated the whole I'm going to stop the fight thing, and I never, you know what I'm saying, I didn't hear him argue against it, but I didn't hear him say, yeah, I want to stop it, you know. But I mean, I have had people tell me he shook his head like he said, okay, or yeah, stop the fight, you know, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a corner stoppage, or it's a stoppage on the stool. And it's not going on the corner's record; it's going on his. So you know what I'm saying. That's just what that is. But I personally ain't lost no respect for the man as a fighter.
Me neither, and I'm not mad at the stoppage from the coach at all. I saw a look in Stanionis' face that I ain't never seen before. I done seen him take shots and shit, but he always got that lion look in his face. He came out that round looking like he seen a ghost. And if you a trainer and your fighter got giving you a look that you ain't never seen before, you're gonna be a little bit concerned. He done got dropped and shit, and from body shots of all things, body shots stick with you.
Yeah.
And this motherfucking Ennis, he elevating through the fight. It ain't like he slowing down or something. It seems like he getting stronger and stronger every round, and your fighter getting weaker and weaker.
More confident.
More confident, all that kind of shit. And he having fun. He getting his rhythm, swag on, and all that type of shit. Hey man, let's go ahead and save this guy for the next fight, man. Ain't no sense of taking a beating just to take a beating. Hell, you in the fight to win. You're not in the fight to survive and go the distance and all that kind of shit. I think he did a good job pulling the guy out. His coach is a veteran coach. I know he ain't a veteran like as far as being a head coach, but he done been around the sport a long time. Y'all know we saw him with Freddie Roach as his assistant for years. So
Okay.
he'd have been around the sport, man. He know what he's looking at. And I think he did a good job in putting Stanionis out of that. And at the same time, this Stanionis is kind of like a hard luck guy right now. You know, he should have had more fights, but he tried
Yeah.
to fight Virgil Ortiz and all this kind of shit. And then when he finally get his opportunity, it's against Boots.
Yeah, and it was a situation where what can he do in that situation? If he turned the fight down, he may never get that opportunity again. You know what I'm saying? And it was an opportunity he couldn't pass up, but it really couldn't have came at a worse time for him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't making no excuses, but you talking about your wife in another country getting ready to have a baby. You probably done fought one fight in 3 years.
Yeah, some shit like that. That's why I say hard luck. It remind me of Andre.
Yeah, and he kept trying to fight it. You know, he had his health issue. Then when I think he had his appendix removed or something. And then when they get that straightened out, Virgil had 2 false starts. And then he had to wait. I mean, hell, it went light right after that. They just lined him up with somebody. I don't know why they didn't. But when Virgil pulled out of these fights, even the last time, it still took Stanionis, hell, seemed like about 8 months before he got a fight. Hell, Virgil done had about 2-3 fights before Stanionis got one. You know, so but that's kind of part of the problem of being aligned with who he aligned with, though. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea why he went from being like a PBC affiliate like Boots was to just marrying PBC, and even Boots had sense enough to know that wasn't the way to go. You know what I'm saying? It was a second ship. He went and hooked up Eddie.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it remind me of Andre, because Andre, like, he wanted to get the fights, you know, Charlo and Canelo and different guys. And then when he finally get his opportunity, it's against fucking David Benavidez, El Monstro, a goddamn emergency beat your ass fighter. And he got stopped in 6, just like Stanionis. Both of them got stopped in 6 rounds. So they just remind me of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hard time getting fights, hard time getting in there with those names, just hard times, period. And shoot. Stanionis' road was filled with all kind of potholes. Like you said, D-Lo, he had to get his appendix taken out. Then Virgil got sick twice. And then after that, you would have thought that when Virgil got sick the first time, they would have went on and lined him up with somebody else. Didn't do that.
Yeah.
Then they waited for him to get well, so they thought, get ready to go again. He get out the fight, they still don't line him up.
I think the only reason they didn't wait on Virgil after that last time was that Virgil finally realized that he just needed to stop trying to make 147. Because y'all noticed that once he left, now he done left 47, he ain't having that problem no more.
He have no problems.
Yeah. That man was literally killing himself trying to make weight.
Yep.
But
listen to the rest of them.
Yeah, and the thing is, man, when you look at that whole situation there, it's like he basically put his career on hold, waiting on one man. You know what I'm saying? And then it didn't work out for him, and then he had that Maestre fight, which was a great opponent for him. You know, even though I know people will look at that and say, "Hey, dude, they have a 7 fight," you know, whatever. But we know, you know, Maestre got a pedigree, and you know, other than him getting, you know, outclassed, in my opinion, or out-hustled, whatever it was, against Fox, and still got the win, he done pretty much showed that, you know, he got some good, you know, got some metal behind him. You know what I'm saying? And that was in my opinion, that was a great win for Stanionis. Of course, the Butayev win was great, but I mean that seemed like it was a lifetime ago. You know what I'm saying? You know, since that happened, but I just think, you know, just looking at everything, man, as the fight played out, regardless if you take all of that stuff away, you know what I'm saying? Because all you can look at is what we saw in the ring, and in all honesty, it was just a bad matchup for him on a lot of levels. Stylistically, I just think, you know what I'm saying, it was a bad. And I saw some people saying that, you know, come forward with high guard, guy really just depending on the jab. I think Trey, who went on there, talked about it. That, you know, with him just fighting behind the jab, sometimes don't really put enough behind that jab. You know, he throw the jab and then he might not throw nothing behind it sometimes. But just and then of course with it, you know, with the inactivity, you know, your timing is probably one of the hardest things to get back down after inactivity. But I just felt like even without all that, it just looked like the way it unfolded that they could have been on the same schedule where both of them just fought a top tier guy 4 months ago and they were getting in the ring. It seemed like the fight probably would have still played out the way it did. Maybe he would have went further, but it just seemed like he was at a deficit when it come to, you know what I'm saying, skills, the power difference, you know what I'm saying, or the ability to take the power was definitely, you know what I'm saying, in Boots' favor. And you know, the wrinkles that Boots got to his game, you know, it was just a bit too much for him. And the longer the fight went on, the more evident it became. So, you know what I'm saying, I just feel like, you know, one of them things where you shake them guys up and throw them in the ring 10 times, he gonna get beat by Boots 10 times. You know, but I will say, you know, with the matchup stuff, like, you know, like Trey said, we looked at the Karen fight and, you know, weren't surprised that Boots didn't go out there and stop the man. You know, either time. I don't remember what I picked in the first fight, but I know that you know, I was one of the ones that was very vocal. Like I gave Karen a lot of credit for the first fight. I didn't feel like he just ran. You know, I felt like he did some good work in there. He was losing around, but I felt like he was making Boots earn everything he got, and it wasn't just because of footwork, you know. But also, I look at that and say that if I had to pick a winner between Stanionis and Kutazi, I forget how you say his name, Karen, I pick Stanionis to beat him. But I still think that he give Boots a tough fight every time they fight. So, you know, it's just one of them things where, you know, of course they haven't fought, but I just feel like that would be the way it would play out. I think Stanionis probably had action that, you know what I'm saying, beat him impressively. But that was before the Boots fight. I don't know, you know, he might have lost something in this fight, you know. Hopefully not, because the trainer pulled him out in time. But I'm sure from a confidence standpoint, he might have some questions about where he is.
As far as Ennis, man, sometimes it just come down to talent. And I was saying going into the fight, this is if I look at Ennis' talent, I'm thinking excellent. And if I look at Stanionis' talent, I'm thinking very good. You know what I'm saying? They both D1, but Ennis look like them Florida niggas to me. The motherfuckers go out there and run 4.2s on you and then got them dreadlocks and shit on your motherfucking ass. And
touching you all over the place.
Yeah, Stanionis look like he go to South Dakota State or something. Like it's a good program, don't get me wrong, but it ain't no goddamn Florida or nothing like that. It ain't no SEC type shit. And this look like the SEC to me, and that's what I was looking at going into the fight. But you know what? If Stanionis fought against Chuka John, because I've been thinking about that fight, I think that's a fight I want to see. I actually think Chuka John might beat the motherfucker. He's like, they do got a common opponent now, we can't say. Chuka John went the distance twice, and this man got stopped in 6. So I got to give Chuka John the edge when it comes to the common opponent. And plus, I just think his overall game, his footwork, his ability to turn, and his toughness and his savviness, or whatever the word I'm supposed to say, I think that'll give him the edge over Stanionis. You know what I'm saying? But I still respect Stanionis. And I do think he got a lot of tread left on the tire because, like you said, his coach, I feel, pulled him out at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So he's still going to be a force to be reckoned with. If people go in there thinking Stanionis is just a pushover because they saw what Ennis did to him, they're going to get fucked up because you ain't Ennis. This is a hell of a talent. You know what I'm saying? Like this is on a scale of 1 to 10. If we're going to say Roy Jones a 10, I'm going to give Ennis a 9. I think he up there pretty good, man. And it's gonna be hard to beat that motherfucker, especially in his prime.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest. I think Joker got a better chance beating him now than they will in a couple years if he keep developing like he is. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of things that he doing today, he gonna clean that up. You know what I'm saying? And I think some of the unnecessary stuff he does that, you know, opens him up to get caught, he'll probably clean up. But at the same time, some of that stuff is what makes his opponent open up to give him opportunities. So it's all, you know what I'm saying? It's a trade-off for everything they do in that ring. So, you know, sometimes you can't have one thing without having the other. So, You know what I'm saying? Everything that he does that, you know, to some people who consider themselves to have a trained eye might say he shouldn't be doing that, or you know that right there is a flaw that he need to fix. That very flaw might be what his opponent's seeing and think they can exploit, that opens them up to get exploited. So you know what I'm saying. I can't really say I can't argue with results. You know what I'm saying. That's really what it all boils down. I think I said that in the Discord. You know that you know what I'm saying. Regardless of the things I see that I feel like you know what I'm saying could catch up with him against the right opponent. You know, the thing is, they got to make that happen. And if you look at the results are that he gonna get his man before they get him. You know what I'm saying? Even if he don't get him out of there, he gonna put something on them to make them realize that it ain't worth the risk of doing what they feel like they need to do to get him. And then they go to, I'm gonna try to outbox it and see if I can, you know, get the points in, or even just go 12 to say I went 12. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I mean, because every fight I seen where a guy looked like they would make it that was actually taking the heat, they didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? Eventually they took one shot too many and they folded. You know what I'm saying? But then you got the guys who actually can stay away from him and mix things up. You know, that those seem to be the guys that have a better chance at going the distance, but they also don't put themselves in a position to win. So, you know, that's why I agree. You know, it's gonna be hard to beat the guy because if you come forward and you trade with him, you're probably not gonna win that way. And if you try to outbox him and try to, you know what I'm saying, beat him with footwork and distance and things like that, because of his gifts, you know what I'm saying, he's gonna probably outpoint you. And you know what I'm saying, win it that way. So it's just he got a nice skill set, you know what I'm saying, and just overall, you know, if
you got a high ceiling.
Yeah, if you know what I'm saying, if you look at, you know, if it was a video game, he got too many high numbers in too many places. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
in the only places where you could say, okay, he might be average would be defense. But like I said, his lack of being like elite on the defense make people,
his elusiveness helps him a lot.
right, and it also make his opponents think they see something, and they probably do, but you can't take advantage of it without income. What they gonna have incoming? You know what I'm saying? So it's like it really don't do no good for them to see it. You know, even for me to see, hey, I ain't taking punches. I can see it from my couch and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, I ain't taking that incoming fire when you land one shot and then you get hit with 6.
Yeah, I was about to say, niggas, just like Pacquiao. Pacquiao ain't have the best defense, but sometimes a hell of an offense can make up for a defense.
Absolutely.
And that motherfucker get to putting them shots on you. And then he got stamina, world-class stamina. That come from his work ethic. I ain't never seen the man tired. I ain't never seen him take a step back and take a deep breath and be breathing hard in the corner, even though he throws so many combinations. It's really amazing to see. And like you said, he can fight from all the ranges. If you want to fight him in close, he got the long arms that can wrap around your guard and come up the middle and still be catching you with shit, even though you got your hands up. And if you want to fight him from distance, okay, let's get this 74-inch reach on your motherfucking ass then. Like, the motherfucker got it, man. I just gonna give him his props. I ain't saying he unbeatable. I mean, sometimes I see him get caught up in some voids and shit. Like I said, he like to pose for a picture after he gets some good workout. Sometimes he admire his work. But I think if you somebody that's really dedicated to your craft, they give you something to work on. Like it sometimes the worst thing that can happen to you as an athlete is that you win by blowout. And now you go home feeling like you Thanos or some shit.
Right.
Sometimes it's better when you got a little something for your coach to get on you about. Like, even though you won the game or you won the fight, you still get to go home and get a talking to from your coach. Like, I like what you did, but in this area, I feel like you can improve. So we can still have something to work on, and I still got something to fuss at you about. If you just looking perfect in the fight, I can't even fuss at you as a coach. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
Yes, I think he still got some heights that he can strive to get to. And that's gonna be scary for the sport if he reached them heights.
Well, I'm gonna go out and say again, like I said earlier. The bright lights for some fighters is all it takes. And I think the brighter the light gets for Boots, the better he gonna get. I can, I heard Tank them people saying that about him, but I'm not seeing that from him. I did see in this fight that the lights were brighter. It was something on the line, something that he wanted to prove. And he went out there and did exactly that. As far as Stanionis goes, hope he go home, get to hug his new baby and stuff, but I hope he gets back in the gym because I still think Stanionis can be a champion again.
And he already 32, so he really ain't got a lot of time to sit back and mildew. I think he gonna have to get back on the horse and make it do what it do. He already 32, man. We ain't got 3 years. You be 35. Go on out there, get back on the horse, and let's get back to work, Stanionis.
Hey, I'm looking at box rec. Stanionis, he 32. He is now 16 fights in. The man done been a pro 8 years.
2 fights a year. What his average would be.
Yeah, that's what. And the crazy thing is, he had 4 fights in 17. He had 2 in 18. He had 4 in 2019, 2 in 2020, 2 in 2021, 1 in 2022, 1 in 2024, and then 1 in 2025.
That sounds like he signed with PBC in 2020.
Yeah, that's when he got hooked up with him. Round by then. He fought
that's when the action slowed down.
Yeah. I mean, now granted, his level of opposition picked up too, right? Because a lot of guys fight, when they fight guys who got, bad records, like Vladimir Klitschko, I think in 2007 or 90, I forget the year, maybe it was 97. Whenever he had like 13 fights in 1 year. But he was fighting a lot of guys that were developmental fights, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't really no threat to him. So, of course, when you start to, pick it up and start fighting guys that's a little more opposition's a little bit more dangerous, your numbers gonna slow down, but they don't typically drop off. His activity fell off. I mean, yeah, he had that 1 year where he had the injury, but like I said, I feel like even with the Virgil situation, his handlers were really looking out for him. They should have said, okay, we just got to move on from this fight and get you some action. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, even when Virgil moved on, it still took the man about 8 months to get a fight.
You know what I'm saying? Say that his handler dropped the ball.
Yeah.
That's simplest way to put it. But
and I ain't saying none of this to make excuses for why he lost. I'm just stating that, I really just brought it up. Trey was talking his age, you know what I'm saying? 32 years old, ain't got but basically a handful of, you know what I'm saying, top level type fights. Yeah.
Prime year.
Right, yeah. And then it's like how much of that window is left, you know what I'm saying, to actually really get the best out of what's left for your boxing career. You know what I'm saying? And then you at a weight class that a lot of guys don't typically, when they get past, mid 30s, a lot of guys struggle to stay at 35 if they're a decent sized man. I mean, you're not 35, stay at 47, I mean.
Right. Well, we just have to see what the future holds. But I'm going to stay with the point. As the lights get brighter, Boots going to get better. I think that's safe to say. I think he's one of those guys that like the lights. He likes to shine. And when the lights are on in the boxing ring, pretty much everybody's watching. Nobody's watching anything else but you and the dude you in there with.
It was a young kid this weekend. His name Amari Jones.
Yeah.
He keep on talking about the crowds. He keep on talking about the lights. Every single time he do an interview, he talk about how he was excited to fight in front of a big crowd, and we got another big crowd to fight in front of this time. He seems to be enamored with them bright lights, man. He won his fight by stoppage this weekend. I want to say it was a first round stoppage with a body shot. He had stopped a veteran and shit, but he looked like he might be the goods. He got an amateur background. I can't think of exactly what it is off the top of my head right now.
He a bronze medalist.
Yeah, he up to like 4.5 type shit. And it seemed like, he loved the lights. So I think that's one to watch.
Yeah, keep an eye on him, especially if you're talking about the lights. Eric, I'll ask the question. Because Blair Cobb got action with Brian Norman Jr. Blair Cobb 154, right?
Nah, he 140. The last time I saw he was at 140. Well, he done fought at 147 too, because I think he had fought against the guy from Dallas, man, the Hooker, Maurice Hooker. I think he fought him at 47. I might be wrong though. He at least 140 though. But he big for the division. He like 37 already. He 5'11 and a half and shit. I wouldn't just count him, man. I know everybody here Blair Cobb and just want to laugh and he a joke or something. I don't see him like that.
No, I don't see him like that.
Yeah, I think he got some good genetics. This motherfucker 37 or 35, somewhere off in there, don't have a piece of fat on him nowhere. Motherfucker come off a 2-year layoff and come back chiseled, like no fat. His stoppage that he got against Alexis Roker, that was southpaw on southpaw. You can get fucked up like that. I haven't seen him be stopped by an orthodox fighter yet. So I would favor Brian Norman Jr. in the fight because of the amateur background, bona fide 3.5, 200 amateur fights, all that kind of shit. Blair Cobb is basically like a 0.5 type motherfucker. But I wouldn't just count him out though. You know what I'm saying? I would make Brian Norman Jr. probably like maybe a 5-1 favorite or something like that. But I wouldn't have him in no 20-1 and none of that shit. But Blair LaFleur, he gonna come fight back though. That's one thing that I can count on him to do. And I think that Brian Norman Jr. is vulnerable enough that he might get caught with some shit. But I would favor him to win the fight though, for sure.
There you have it, Eric. Yes, still shooting shots. Y'all say everything, but let's fight Norman next. Well, I laid it out already. Boots does not need to waste time arguing about if somebody wants to fight or not. If you want to unify the belts, then get it done. I don't want to hear about this old $1 million this, $1 million that. Like Trey X said, they probably trying to haggle and get it together because they know they're going to get their ass beat. The lights will be bright. I don't know, Brian, I don't know how he absorbs that light, but I seen Boots absorb it. And like I said, he reminds me in the lights, Floyd, Terrence, who else? Ali love the lights. People that just love the lights, it just exuberates through them. Those lights and those people looking at them, it's going to sound crazy, but that energizes them to go out there and just act a fool. Man, I can't explain to you, for that crowd to be out there and that noise and those lights and you know it's time to shine. Ooh, I start thinking about basketball because I know what it's a feeling, hyphy. It's a feeling. And I can just imagine you standing there, you know you got the goods, you got hands. And everybody, your people there. And they got you on TV, they talking about you. Man, I'm finna go out here and beat the brakes off this boy. And I'm gonna look good doing it. Those be the fights. The only time that I think Boo's gonna have a problem is he end up running into somebody who like the lights as much as he does. And they got talent and skills to go with it.
Man, I got a serious question because maybe I'm seeing this shit wrong. But can somebody tell me what advantage Brian Norman Jr. has over Ennis? I would like Hyphy to answer that in the chat. What advantage does Norman have over him? Because when I'm looking at the size, like the height, I'm looking at the reach, I'm looking at the speed, I'm looking at the power, I'm looking at the pedigree. Well, not the pedigree. They're actually about the same as far as pedigree. 3.5 versus 3.5. But they done sparred each other before. Norman Jr. said he got his ass whooping sparring. Like, what advantage does he have? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they shouldn't fight. I want to see the fight. Hell, I'm for all big fights, man. That's why I get mad at people talking about, man, boxing is drying up, it's dying. Like, nigga, do you see all these undisputed fights and unification fights and shit that we getting these days? All these number 1 versus number 2 type fights that we getting, and y'all still spitting that same shit motherfuckers was saying 10 years ago. Like, if you don't shut your motherfucking ass up talking about boxing. Boxing is on fire, if you ask me. And this will just be another drop of gasoline on the fire. We got Ennis versus Brian Norman Jr. I would love to see it. But I just don't see an advantage that Brian Norman Jr. has coming into the fight. I think that Ennis does everything better than this guy. I just don't see what he can do. He don't even have the experience advantage. Like, nothing. that I see. That's why I say I would like for
They have it.
y'all to tell me what advantage that Norman has if y'all think he has one.
He gonna fight hard, and that's not an advantage.
I'm about to say,
That,
in this fight hard too. Shit, he'll beat your
that's
ass.
why I say that's not an advantage. He only thing I can say is he building up to get disappointed if they end up fighting. That's what's gonna happen to Brian Norman. He's not gonna outpoint Boots, and I think that at some point Boots will just have him like just out too deep in the water. Where you can rely on your skills up to a point, and then after that, when you ain't got nothing else to do, you don't know what else to do. You start searching. You be like Devin when he was fighting Lomachenko, talking about he getting used to me throwing the body shot. He doing other stuff to me. That's what's gonna happen to Brian Norman Jr.
If we take the Santillan fight off his record, how are we looking at Brian Norman Jr.? Because wasn't nobody saying nothing about him until that Santillan fight. Now all of a sudden he Charlie Burley and he's scaring Sugar Ray Robinson and shit now. Like it was one fight. And it was a hell of a fight. Don't get me wrong. We bet on Brian Norman Jr., but we lost because we took him by decision and he got an 8th round stoppage over Santillan. So salute to him for that. But outside of that, I mean, how many fights have you seen and be like, man, did y'all see what Brian Norman Jr. did? Man, that motherfucker was looking good out there, smooth out there, putting hands on that boy.
I'll say yeah, but it was all like in the developmental phase. You know what I'm saying? Like that was when Cameron Duncan was doing his matchmaking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was looking like he was next up. And then when he went to Top Rank and the competition rose a little bit, a lot of people cooled off on him. You know what I'm saying? Because they started he started looking vulnerable. Got dropped a couple. I think he done got dropped in a few fights. You know what I'm saying? He had some, a fight that looked like he was gonna lose. So it was, you know what I'm saying? So I look at that and say, you know what I'm saying? I think most of the hype that was around him was when he was a prospect. Then once he kind of went into that contender phase, everybody kind of cooled on him because he didn't look the part no more. Kind of like Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee looked like he was gonna be one of them ones, and then now it's like I see people putting posts all the time. What happened to Brandon Lee? Where's he at? Is he still fighting? Because he ain't making no noise. And it was the same way with Norman. He got to where he was just like an afterthought, and Top Rank. From everything I heard, was pretty much getting ready to cut ties with him. And if he'd have lost that Santillan fight, that would have been it. He'd have been on Pro Box probably.
Yeah, they threw him to the wolves in that fight because he was coming off that Boca Chica fight. He then got dropped and got cut up and looking ugly in the fight.
That's the fight I was thinking about, Boca Chica. You're right.
Yeah, so they said sink or swim, nigga. We're gonna put you out here with Santillan and see what you're gonna do. And he went out there and rose to the occasion and had an outstanding performance. It was one of the best performances of the year. I give him credit on that all day, but that's just the only fight. And I'll be honest, I didn't see a lot of his early developmental fights. I was seeing his fights when he went to Top Rank. So maybe I'm judging him a little bit too harshly. But I just haven't been watching his fights and been feeling like, man, this motherfucker looks spectacular. And looking at his chin, like if we compare his chin to Ennis' chin, if both of them get caught with a shot they don't see, I trust Ennis' chin a lot better. Because I didn't see Norman get dropped already. He got up, don't get me wrong, but I ain't never seen Ennis even look buzzed. I done saw him catch some decent shots, and he looked 100% steady on his feet. I think he got the way more trustworthy chin than Brian Norman Jr., along with all the other physical and intangible gifts that he has over him.
I agree. Rod Exton fell into the building. I missed him, so I'm gonna jump on the chat real quick.
Salute.
Just so they don't think we forgetting. Karen like Sandor Martin, no chumping him. He said, I expect a little more grit from Stanley Jonas when it got tough. He and his team folded, but I'm not the one taking the punches. He didn't fold. D-Lo broke that down. I think in the best sense. He said he heard the camera when the camera was in the corner. The corner called it off. We would have to take it into account Not making an excuse that, you know, we know that the man was getting, his wife is in another country. She didn't travel with him this time. You know, she says she always traveled with him, but the baby is due. Baby might be here right now. But, you know, a lot of things was on the line when it came to that. So I wouldn't say he folded at all. I just say a good decision was made to keep their fighter in good health. He get to go home and see his baby and things like that. And we just have to hope that he gets right back in it, gets right back at it, that baby rejuvenates him, and he make the best of this next few years he got, because 35 will be here before we know it.
Yeah, and I did forget to mention, he according to Box Rec, he's 30. So he got a little bit further than what we were thinking, if that's accurate.
Oh, he 30. I don't know where the fuck I get 32 from. I mean, it makes sense because hell, when he fought Butayev, he was 27. And when was that? 3 years ago?
Yeah,
so
I guess
it makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know where I got 32 from.
If he said,
hey, one of y'all niggas sound like y'all typing or snapping pictures or something. Like I keep hearing some clicking and shit.
That's me. I'm on my computer. I go on mute.
Well, you be hearing everything.
Yeah, I'm doing my son taxes.
Did you do an extension? Cause today is the day.
It's all right. He getting money back. He'll be okay.
Oh, I got you, Pops. Is D-Lo saying Stan Jonas was a victim of the PBC fighting across the street curse? Well, if you look at how often he was fighting prior to a certain time and then him get with PBC, yeah, you would have to say that, Hyphy. You would have to say that. Search my player dumb. Nope, no, okay. So we pretty caught up. I seen that rumor, that dumbass statement that somebody had put out. I don't even know why anybody gave it any thinking. D-Lo, I seen where you put it that they were saying that Mario Barrios is about to alley-oop his belt to Earl Spence, which makes no sense at all. Why would anybody expect Earl Spence to be fighting at 147 for anything?
Barrios might whoop his motherfucking ass, man. I don't know if I got no belief in Earl Spence, man. He went out there and got his ass demolished, picked and polished. Ain't living a Spartan lifestyle. Hell, he might still be drinking. Man, I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. Exactly. He really need to get out the way. If you rumors of wars with this motherfucker, he ain't stepped in the ring yet.
Speaking of rumors and rumors of wars, I saw a video with the Charlo brother, Mr. Shut Your Mouth or whatever it is, beating on the bag and sparring and all that. I mean, not sparring, but practicing on the mid, saying he getting ready to come back at 154. If it's true, what kind of stance you think he gonna make amongst the waters that's in there now?
The waters got a lot murkier than what they used to be. He ruled the division with some solid fighters, but now you got some very good fighters up there. You got Olympians and all kind of shit up there now. It wasn't like that when he was doing his thing. He was beating threes and shit, and we was impressed by that. Well, is he gonna be able to beat these 4.5s and 5s and all that kind of shit? I think it's gonna be tough if he get off in there, especially if he ain't 100% dedicated like he used to be.
Yeah, and I don't know how dedicated he really was then, to be honest with you, man. But I'm sure he's less dedicated now. But I'll say this about, you know what I'm saying, about him with his undisputed run. You know, and I'll, you know, everybody know I don't mind being critical of the guy. You know what I'm saying? I used to be a big fan, but you know, the whole way he acted toward Canelo, even long before they fought, I lost a lot of respect for him. When he shitted on his own brother for the benefit of Canelo, I lost a lot of respect for him then. But I'll say this about the division when he was there and now. The man became undisputed without fighting the second and third best fighter in this division. You know what I'm saying? And arguably they could have been number 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Because he was able to become undisputed without fighting Hurd. Not his fault. Hurd went out there and didn't take care of business. But he also became undisputed without fighting Laura. And those three were considered the 3 best guys in the division, no matter who you put 1 and who you put 3 and who you put 2. they were considered the 3 best guys in the division. Those two canceled each other out in a way because Laura lost to Hurd and then basically left the division after the Castano fight. And then
Hurd lost to J-Rock.
Then Hurd was never the same fighter after the Laura fight. You know what I'm saying? So I just say that. The reason I'm saying that is just to say that the division was tougher than it actually looked. If you look at the guys he fought versus who he could have fought. But like I said, I can't knock him. I feel like he really was trying to get the Hurd fight, and Hurd had a couple of excuses. The Laura fight was just, I don't know why they couldn't ever make that fight. I know part of it was Jamal didn't want him to fight because Jamal and Laura were like, supposedly like best of friends. But, I don't know what happened there. But I do think, back to Trace's point, though, the division now, I don't think there's that clear separation. Like back then, you had those guys look like they were the clear top 3 until Laura and Hurd fought each other. Like I said, things kind of changed. But at the same time, if you look at the guys now, you got that one guy that looks like a killer. What's his name? Motazaliev or whatever.
Yeah, Bakr Murtazazeev.
But but I mean, at the same time, we got to see him against certain people. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, to me, it's pretty tight. I know a lot of people say, they act like Virgil just went out there and put on a clinic against what's my man? Yeah, and I didn't see it that way.
I thought Madrimov beat himself with all of that.
I thought he lost the fight in the second half.
Yeah, the second half.
But he had, you know what I'm saying? But Virgil had to come from behind. But people act like that didn't happen. But I just don't think it's that clear separation right now. And I just think it's hard for me to say Charlo wouldn't just get caught up in the weeds and just be another guy right now. I mean, with his athleticism and what he showed in the past, if he could be that same guy, yeah, clearly you say he could beat some of these dudes. But at the same time, when I look at the dude I saw fight Canelo and his lack of effort, it's hard for me to pick him over any of these guys that look like a serious threat. You know what I'm saying? From Tim Tszyu to Fondora to Madrimov to Montezaliel to Virgil to the dude Virgil just fought. I forget his name. To the other dude Virgil fought before him.
Boy, true. Like that's what I'm saying. Like this right now, the number 10 guy can whoop your ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's going down to Charles Conwell and Jesus Ramos and all these guys.
Even the Iron Man. What's the Iron Man's name? Brian Mendoza.
Oh yeah, he ain't no punk.
He ain't no punk.
And he probably like number 15 or some shit.
Right.
And then you don't forget about Fondora. I don't know if you said his name.
Yeah, he was like, I said Fondora.
Inferno.
Yeah. That's Crawford. He technically is 154, even though I know he's going to 168.
Yeah.
The division is stacked right now. I just don't know if like if I look at Tony Harrison will get his ass whooped in this division right now. Even Brian Castano, I know he like 181-5 amateur record and shit, but with his stature, I don't think he whooping these dudes right now. Or the Brazilian that Castano beat.
Yeah, the guy that Xander fought not long ago.
Yeah,
Brian Teixeira.
Yeah, Teixeira. I think he'll have trouble.
Patrick Teixeira.
Yeah, Patrick Teixeira. I think he'll have a little trouble today. He ain't got the deep amateur background. He just got the size and the southpaw stance. He got a lot of experience and a lot of toughness and stuff like that. But I think he'll have some trouble with this smoke that's at 154 right now. So we'll see what Charlo looking like sleeping on silk sheets. Let's see if he can get back in the mix and whoop these guys. How old is that motherfucker now? He in his 30s, right?
He in his 30s.
Yeah, he got I think he's around 36 or so.
I thought he like 34, but
maybe.
We'll see.
Around, let me see. He fall close to like right there with Earl Spence and Crawford. So he in his 30s. And it goes to say, thinking back, Trey, you had mentioned that the 154 division was stacked with pretty much a lot of high B fighters, high top B plus fighters. Right now, that grade has changed, in my opinion. There's a lot of A fighters in there right now. You took a sabbatical, you went and chilled for a long time. Don't know what your mental like. Don't know if you've been working. We do know you drink or used to drink. We've seen it. We've seen you drunk. So you don't live the Spartan life. So his comeback is going to be one to be watched, but I'd be surprised if it blossoms and bloom and he take off like a rocket. I don't see that coming back. I don't see the comeback doing that for Charlo. He going to make a lot of noise with his mouth, but I want to see what he got when it's time to step in the ring.
Yeah, I thought it was one of the best divisions because it was so competitive. You had so many B-level type fighters going against each other. They just made good fights all the time. But I do think the division is more like some B+, A- type shit right now. And it's one of the most solid divisions in all of boxing. A lot of fans don't want to give it credit, I guess, because they don't know the names and shit. Like, they didn't have the Terrence Crawford and the Earl Spence to get behind and all that kind of stuff. But there is a solid division. I think that might be my favorite division in all of boxing right now. Unless I want to go 135, maybe 140 or something. But looking at 154, that shit's solid as a rock. And
yeah, it stayed and it's consistently solid too.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. It ain't like how 147 when a few guys moved on, all of a sudden it became a wasteland. You know what I'm saying? And we hoping that these guys can really bring up some interest. And really a lot of it is it's almost like people waiting on these boys at 140 to come on up to 47 to make the division hot again. You know what I'm saying?
That's the truth. That's the truth right there.
But 54, it seems like no matter who come through there, it's always somebody else coming up or somebody who already there. They all of a sudden start making noise and you start taking notice. You look at I know Conwell ain't going out there just stopping everything, but if you look at how he wins, that's an exciting fighter to watch for me. You know what I'm saying? I like the way he, I like the way he put it together in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got guys like even you look at a guy like Terrell Goucher, who's like a holdover from the last, run a guy, crop of guys. He's still out here giving dudes competitive fights who's supposed to be next up. You know what I'm saying? And arguably beat them.
Yeah.
So I think that speaks to the strength of the division.
Yeah. For sure. Oh yeah, I got to get on you about that motherfucking 0.5 ass performance you had in that Chant Roast this opening week, Mr. Musically Zone Talks Boxing. You're gonna go out there and get tied for last. Dead last.
That's cause he signed with PBC. So he been on the shelf for about 6 seasons. Now he trying to come back. Hey, he just gotta shake the rust off. He got some ring rust.
I seen the beatdown videos that people was posting in the Discord. And let me just say this. I stepped out there and I fought hard. I got jumped. See, this is what happened.
Nah, you beat yourself.
Hooks and I duck up under the hook and Gil Coles to catch me with an uppercut. I blocked the next uppercut coming in. Eric R catch me with a hook.
Nah, and another thing, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop claiming my pedigree scale because you're making it look bad. And on top of that, you're not using it. Like you took that South African fight over Stephen Shaw, a fucking 3.5 national champion. Like that ain't the pedigree scale. That man ain't have nothing for you to pick him over Stephen Shaw. Stephen Shaw knocked him out of there in one round, KO 1. I sat right here doing the breakdown and said this is a showcase type of fight for Stephen Shaw to get him back in the mix. He only lost to fours. He lost to Joe Goodall and he lost to F.A. Ajagba. Now he fighting the South African. This is a fucking showcase fight. You gonna go out there and pick the damn showcase guy over the 3.5. That is not no pedigree scale shit, brother. Don't put my pedigree scale in that, man, because that ain't got nothing to do with that. If you stick with the pedigree scale all the way, you at least gonna be top 20. You ain't gonna be tied for last. So now, man, we gotta clean that up, OG. Tighten up.
Hold on, big bro. Big bro telling on me, talking about he called me and said he prepared for this. I am prepared, that's right. I had to tell big bro, I said, man, I got my ass whooped. Did I even pick the right shoe color? I was like, man, let me tell you, I was sitting around like, you know what? I'm just waiting for the results. I'm waiting because when you were talking about the fights, I was like, yeah, I picked him. I could have sworn I picked Shaw to win.
Yeah. Nah, you had Epicteori or whatever his name was. I remember seeing that. And like this was a straightforward week, man. Like everybody got all the pick the correct winners. Like just about everybody. We had a lot of voids, number one. And the fights that were remaining, everybody got the correct winners. So this was just a straightforward week, bro. The only thing that was gonna separate you whether you pick decision or knockout or if you got a bonus. But if you just go straight forward and just pick the obvious guy, you was gonna get all the winners correct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a bad week.
Tied for dead last. That's what I'm tripping on. If you were just in the 40s or something, I wasn't even gonna say nothing. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But,
that's right.
But tied for dead last, bro.
That's right. I had to get my shoes tied right. That's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna have 2.5 bad performances, and then everything else gonna be copacetic. I'm gonna be all right.
We might have to start enforcing some no pass, no play rules for your ass. You can't do no live stream unless you pass in the Champ Ross. Goddamn.
I guess y'all gonna be on here just going live for me because somebody gonna have to do the show.
We gonna let her do the live. Ain't nobody gonna hop on with you, and we gonna be in the chat, but we ain't gonna be typing nothing. We just gonna be looking.
Well, shit. Now I can't hold it down by myself. I can be prepared for that. But y'all just gonna go 0-30 in the chat.
We gonna come in and speak. We gonna shout each other out in the chat. Then we gonna just watch.
Boy, I tell you the truth. If we come down to some hardcore stuff, the brothers would. You know what? It's all good. I deserve this. Like I said, I took ass whooping, y'all. That's all it was. 4 punches, 4 hands against 2. I was dutching and dodging and swaying and moving and grooving, but it just I came time all night long.
Hopefully you come back with something this week, man. I see you got your picks in. I turned them in already, and then we're gonna see how this week go.
Yeah, you blew my head when you said, "Hey, man, did you mean to send me this list? I'm having a hard time finding your picks." I was like, "What?" My phone was literally sharing my picks with you as I was making them in real time. I was like, "What the hell is going on with that?"
Yeah, I did see. I kind of figured that because I kept on getting updates of you updating your picks, and I'm like, "Damn, what the fuck?" But yeah, just go ahead and just text it to me and keep it simple, stupid, and we're gonna go from there. Not calling you stupid. I mean, KIS. Yeah,
keep it simple, stupid. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
We pulling for you though. We fucking with you, but that just we bullying you a little bit because we want you to do better. I don't want you tied for dead last, bro. That hurt my heart. I didn't even have a good week. I had a bad week. I was 22nd place and all that kind of shit. But when I saw you tied for dead last, that hurt me to see that shit, man. Let's tighten up, man. Don't just pick anything. It looked like you flipping a coin. Nigga, go out there and pick that thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Eric R, though. So Eric R had an outstanding week. We only had 15 fights, and Eric R got 160 something points, 170 something points, or some shit like that. Like he had a bunch of points for a 15 fight week. That motherfucker did an outstanding job. He was the only person to show up last season. It looked like he might be the only person showing up this season. But like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And it's not beyond me to walk some motherfuckers down. So we gonna see what's up. But I gotta give my nigga some props for how he started out this season. Shit, he looked like he trying to go get him a chip. He trying to be the third champion in the block fam behind me and Yasser. So we'll see what's up.
Big bro say guessing. Bro, stop it, bro. Don't help, bro. Don't help.
Yeah, don't be guessing, man. You got a whole pedigree scale, bro. All you got to do is look the shit up, man. You ain't got to watch them fight or nothing. Just look up the amateur background, and that's going to give you a good indication of who's going to win. And also look at the common opponents. Like you saw the common opponent last week and bucked it. That shit be winning every time. And you decide to take Stan Jonas over Boots. And the common opponent is one guy went 1 round with him and the other guy went 12 rounds with him. When you see stuff like that, Don't buck it, bro. Roll with it.
Yeah, I did buck. I bucked hard too.
They giving you the answer to the test.
When I saw it, I instantly said, "Oh, Stan Jonas, I'm going with Stan. I already talked it. I'm going with it." I pulled one of your moves. I bucked against the pedigree scale. You know, you done bucked it a couple of times.
That wasn't a pedigree scale though. That was common opponent. I said earlier, common opponents are stronger than the pedigree scale. You know what I'm saying? It's a hierarchy out here. And it's been several times where I done seen a guy higher on the scale, but they got a common opponent and he performed better. Like I told you, I lost to Champ Ross like this. Championship. Julio Cesar Martinez, he fought this Cordova dude. Cordova, they had a common opponent. Martinez got him out of there in 6 rounds. Cordova went the distance with the motherfucker. I had Julio Cesar Martinez at first because of that. Then I saw some shit off in Discord and changed my pick and roll with Cordova, and that cost me the championship. Do not buck that common opponent, bro. That is one of the most powerful things that you can see as far as picking fights. Don't listen to people talking about, man, that's the triangle theory, and them motherfuckers don't know what the hell they talking about. And I also got to tighten up with the picks and shit, like as far as the bets. I done got into this little habit where I'm just betting shit because of the odds and all of that. And I'm going against my own principles. So I ain't doing that shit no more. Like the way I normally pick fights, I wouldn't even pick no goddamn Stan Jonas. But I went out there and picked the motherfucker anyway, like an idiot. So I got to tighten up my own self, you know what I'm saying, as far as the bets and shit go, because we've been in the slump. Got to come back with something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I just paid my taxes.
Oh, you got that monkey off your back?
Hell no, it's still crawling a little bit, but I got a lot of it off.
Yeah.
A lot. This boy Eric R said, if you come in last again, you can only play instrumentals. No way. You know what? I deserve all this. Like I said, I did some high capping, some high talking. Called out 2 people at the same. I called out the damn near champion. 2, what are they? 5 and 2 3s?
2 3.5, 2 national champions.
I came out there and just jumped straight. Give it to me. Bring me what you got.
I think Eric R is a bona fide 3.5. I think he's a 2-time national champion.
And I came out there. That's all right. That's all right. Things is looking up already. Things are looking up.
Yeah, we got 20 fights this week, so you got some room for some improvement this week. Yeah, Champ Ralston put it out there, 20 fights. And you done already picked them, so you know.
Yeah, I saw him. I'm still thinking about when you posted the results. I was like, oh man, the results is out. I heard them pressed on the first one. I didn't look at look at number 1 and 2 like I was gonna be there. I was like, I should be somewhere like 10, 11. I kept going. I was like, damn, what my name at? I'm seeing all this. I flipped the page over. And I'm up at the top, and I'm like, okay, I still don't see it. And I get down, and I'm like, hold up. My name's so far down. I had to move the things for it to like, cause you know it have a black line. I'm like, shit. Do that stay 52 place? That's all right. I'm gonna be like Tom Brady. I got drafted way down in the draft and turned into the GOAT.
Yeah, we're gonna see, man. The field is tough too. Like this past week was very indicative of how tough the field has gotten, to where we got 15 fights and we got all these people with 150 and 160 some points and shit. Like I out of 150 base points without the bonuses, I got 135. That's 90% of the fucking base points and got 22nd place. Like that's normally, nigga, that supposed to have you first, second, or third. Nigga, that shit had me 22nd. So the field is tough. So we all got to step our game up. We ain't want to look like no bums.
Damn 3 times. Terrible. 52nd. That's me.
0.5 type shit, man. You trying to solidify your 0.5 status. You trying to be a bona fide 0.5.
I'm just gonna let everybody get the laugh on a little bit right now. So when I come back swinging my sword, they're gonna be like, "Oh no, MC and turn into a Titan." Yes, that's
You
exactly
got back
what's
on
gonna
that
happen.
juice. That's what we gonna think. Back on the
Say,
juice.
man, you make me spill my juice.
That's what you need to do instead of shooting that shit up, nigga. Spill that shit.
Oh man, got my back hurt, man. So once again, D-Lo, happy birthday, man. Happy belated
That
birthday.
was
I'm glad I can say
Napoleon.
it
Oh
too.
yeah, D-Lo too. I forgot D-Lo.
Appreciate
And
it.
Napoleon Armstrong birthday is today.
Yeah.
So, you know, I hope everything went well for you. You got to have fun. My wife's birthday tomorrow. Gonna celebrate that. She a big girl now. That's what I like to tell her. You a big girl now, huh?
Yeah, that's what's up. I might have to jump off, man. I'm already in the red and shit as far as my battery. I
My
need to go
stomach
find.
battery is in the red.
Huh?
My stomach battery is in the red.
Yeah, I was just about to say that too, man, because I went to the gym and shit today and got it in. And I need some protein. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
hungrier than a runaway slave.
So I'm about to go ahead and jump off, man. I appreciate you letting me get on the panel and shit. Salute to you. Come back with something this week, please. Salute to my nigga D-Lo. Salute to everybody in the chat. Eric R, Napoleon, Ride is the champ if he's still off, and all my people, man. Hyphy, Hyphy Marquez. But salute to everybody, man. I ain't gonna talk y'all to death, man. I'm gonna jump on the next one, man. Appreciate
Peace. Catch you later.
Always.
you. Yeah.
Got something you want to say, D-Lo? Bless these people with some out the box knowledge.
No, man. I mean, you about to go ahead and shut it down too?
No, if you still rolling, we can
Yeah,
roll, you know.
I'm straight. No, man. I ain't got nothing on these upcoming fights. I really ain't had a chance to look at them yet. But I do like the activity. You know, the fact that we got 20 fights that we can pick from. That's telling me that, you know, so we got a good weekend of boxing coming up. You know what I'm saying? And even we know, come May is always a good few fights gonna come through. You got, you know, that Canelo card.
Yeah, them and Ryan Garcia and them on
Yeah, that's what I
the
was about to
first,
say. That
Canelo on
same
that second.
same day they got that card in New York with all, you know, all them guys from 40, 47, whatever you want to call them, catchweight guys. You know, I am looking forward to those fights. You know, as a matter of fact, that you know what I'm saying. That's, to me, I think that card is better than the Canelo card. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just the fact that it's a pretty stacked card with all those guys that, you know, all them guys are pretty much main event
And that's gonna
fighters.
be on the zone, both of them, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you think about all those guys are headliners. You know, Ryan headlines, David headlines, T.O. headlines. You know what I'm saying? So you have all those guys on one card. You know, then sprinkled in with some other fights. So I mean, I think that's a card to look forward to. I'm real interested in seeing how it play out. You know what I'm saying, with those guys. A lot at stake for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna tell you, a lot. Part of me kind of wish all of them would lose, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, I don't know that they really help boxing. Because you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna tell you a lie. I wouldn't feel bad about all three of those so-called, the top tier guys, T.O., especially T.O. You know how I
I
feel
think
about T.O.
I'm looking for him to take a loss. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna even lie to you. I'm looking for T.O. to take a loss.
yeah. Then, like I said, if David and Ryan would go out there and lose, man, I wouldn't feel bad at all. You know what I'm saying? But
If Rolly beats Ryan, oh my gosh, Rolly gonna be talking so much cash. He gonna be talking the talk. Can you imagine if he beat Ryan?
hey,
Knowing that Rolly's susceptible to a left hook.
yeah, Roller can punch though. And Ryan, Ryan ain't got,
The
the chin
greatest
of all
defense.
chins. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it hadn't showed up lately, but you know, he been doing his thing. But Tank dropped him, but he ultimately stopped him with a body shot. But I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Going into that fight, I thought the first time Tank connect clean, that was gonna be all she wrote for Ryan. You know what I'm talking. He showed to have a good enough chin to, withstand that. You know what I'm saying, to come back with something. But I
Yeah, he
tell you,
pulled that
man,
off.
I'm eager to see what Jose Ramirez, out of all those fights, man, to be honest with you, I'm eager to see what Jose Ramirez look like now that he ain't squeezing himself down, boiling himself down to 140. You know, because like I said, him and Josh Taylor, I had no idea what their team was doing. With letting them continue to struggle to make 140. For all those years after the undisputed fight, I dare say the guys, felt like maybe they felt like they were going to lose advantages, once they had to move up to 47. But I felt like they lost a lot of themselves by staying at 140 too long. So I'm eager to see if Ramirez looks like looks like a fresher fighter than he has at 40. Because, a couple times out, man, when he looked like he pretty much need to hang him up. We'll see.
The biggest test is out of those cards for me. The biggest test is going to be Devin. What Devin's going to do? I think his is the fight that most people are going to be interested in.
He's the one fighting Ramirez.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Ramirez is getting the move up, and then I heard Robert Garcia. That's Ramirez's trainer, right?
Yes.
He was in the video saying that now Devin M is talking about add more weight to the fight to 147 to just go ahead and turn it to a full welterweight fight, which he was saying that will work great for his fighter, even though they making the weight that they need to make now, but letting him be able to make 147, he got a long body, he could carry the weight. It won't be a problem for him to be at 147. I don't know what Bill and Devin them are looking at or how they moving. But it's a lot going on with them. You know what I'm saying? If they asking for more weight to move to 147 instead of 144? That 3 more pounds, is Devin having a hard time making it down to 144? That's why he's asking for more weight. It's a lot of questions that can be asked in that. But this fight for Devin, if he loses, it could hurt him bad.
Yeah, and I wish I know they do it for a reason, and I know when belts are on the line, it shouldn't really matter. But I wish they'd get away from these catchweight fights, man. We already got more division than boxing's ever had. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna fight at 140, you're gonna fight at 47. Now, granted, you can fight anywhere above 40. You know what I'm saying? And below 47, and it could be a 147 fight. But I wish they'd get away from the catch weights, the 144s, the 45s, and I know that's been around, for a while, but I've never been a fan of that. I've always felt like, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't gonna make the weight, go ahead and move it up to the next weight class.
That would be the smartest thing. What did he say? Hyphy tripping. He said, MZ, I want to apologize. I disrespected your show anyways, and I wish you good luck on the Greg Hackett interview. What? Hyphy be tripping.
Oh, you done asked Greg Hackett for an interview too?
I ain't talking I don't even know who that is.
Oh, okay.
Let me just put it like that. No, I haven't asked for an interview from anybody though, at all. I think Hyphy mad at me because I gave Boots his props and said that Norman Jr.
Oh yeah, because Hackett is in with Norman. I mean with Boots. Hackett, one of he one of Boots guys. That's the one that fought Brian Norman Sr. And
okay.
Yeah, they had that matchup. You remember we talked about it.
Right.
About a month ago. How long ago? Yeah.
That's crazy. But let me see. Devin. Yeah, that's what I need. I need Devin to. I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect from him. They didn't talk so much. It's like, dude, just show me. Just show me. Y'all conversation is killed so much in the game right now. I just want to see y'all fight.
Yeah.
Ryan haven't been doing too much talking as of late. It's been quite quiet, as far as I know, amongst all the youngsters. I guess they are truly getting themselves ready to go out here and make this appearance come May 2nd and May 3rd. Robert, the Skull fight, I don't know, man. Canelo and the Skull fight, I think, I don't know what to think. I think Canelo picked another opponent for him to stay busy. for the until he meet up with Crawford. But I'm still you saying Ryan possibly lose to Rolly?
I mean, I ain't saying he would. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lot of, I think less of Rolling now than I did several years ago. And I didn't think a whole lot of him several years ago as a fighter. I mean, I will say that, I give him credit for, how well he handled himself against Tank until he got disconnected from his senses. But then against the, of course, the fight where I felt like he got gifted a stoppage against Barroso. I felt like he was catching all kind of trouble in that fight. And then, of course, the Pitbull fight where he just looked like a fish out of water. So, I mean, yeah, he bounced back and got him a nice win after that. But, you know what I'm saying? I just think, I think he's brought in to give Ryan a quality win so that, you know what I'm saying, he can move on. He can have some momentum going into the Devin fight, since he had that suspension. Basically said neither guy has fought since the original fight. And I think the same thing with Devin. They figuring Jose Ramirez ain't got much left, but he's a recognizable name and accomplished guy. In his own right at 140, and you bring him in, and he was a unified champion, and get that win. Now you got Ryan and Devin both coming off very quality wins, very high quality wins going into their rematch. So I think that's the rationale behind why you pick those guys as opponents, but that don't mean those guys aren't capable of upsetting the apple cart.
That's exactly what I'm looking at. I'm also looking at. I'm like, damn, Devin. In my opinion, they both supposedly looking at their fights as get back into it, soft touches, apparently showcase fights. I think Devin got the harder of the deal, or the worst of the deal. His soft touch ain't that much of a soft touch to me.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, Ramirez ain't look dangerous. I mean, yeah, he is, what I'm saying? Like I said, it just depends on how he looks at the class. Ramirez ain't look like, I mean, I'm a fan of the guy. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't look like a threat in several fights. You know what I'm saying? Like even I think his last win was unimpressive. You know what I mean? He alone now, like I said, he's at a new weight class. We're gonna see. But usually if a guy doesn't have that many flat performances where he really just ain't, and I think his last fight, man, he just got beat bad. You know what I'm saying? Very uncompetitive loss. But, usually guys moving up in a weight class, they ain't gonna just all of a sudden just put it all back together. You know what I'm saying? I think they knew what they were doing when picking him, and I don't think that the people who did the matchmaking, I don't think I think we're looking at Ramirez as more of a threat than they are. And I do think that a lot of fans of Devin Haney who were worried about Devin coming off of that Ryan performance, yeah, they probably, I don't know who they wanted Devin to fight, because in all honesty, if Ramirez at this stage is too much for him, then I don't know what they, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know what they would have preferred to see him in the ring with. You know what I'm saying? Cambosos again? You know what I'm saying? Maxie Hughes, maybe? I just can't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think we just looking at Ramirez of 3 years ago and thinking that, you know what I'm saying, that's a dangerous fight for Devin. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Ramirez, but I don't give him much of a shot to win that fight. I mean, but it all depends on what Devin, we ain't seen Devin bounce back from, this Devin first fight bouncing back. So we don't know how that's gonna turn out. So yeah, the unknown.
Come out and fight.
Yeah, you do have those unknowns, huh?
Yeah, I was saying, hopefully he comes out and fight. But like you said, people might be looking at Ramirez being dangerous 3 years ago, but you also have to couple that him not looking good. People saying that, hey, maybe he's sucking himself down to make the weight, which could have been affecting him. We know it affected Virgil. Virgil, like you said, Virgil ain't been sick since he moved up. This could be a shot in the arm for Ramirez, where he might have that one good tango left in him. That's just enough to set Devin off of balance. Not really sure how it's going to turn out, I want to see what Devin, what Devin returns, how he returns. If he's corrected the flaws of keeping his hand down with what y'all call it, the bow and arrow jab. But
Yeah.
if he's corrected that, it's yet to be seen. But I don't want to count Ramirez out. I want to give him all the props he can and build him up as best we can to go into the fight, hopefully to get a good scrap. But I still consider him a dangerous opponent for Devin, just for the simple reason the man got some rounds up under his belt. He knows what to do. He knows how to react. He knows he a vet. Just put it like that. He's a vet.
Yeah, that's true.
So we got to see what Bill and Devin and them put together, because I have no confidence in Bill as a coach at all.
That's what you worried about, ain't it? The coaching matchup.
Well, you have to, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it all plays a part in it.
I can't depend on Devin to make adjustments on his own, for the simple reason he wasn't doing it against Lomachenko. He was holding on to what his dad was saying, and he was telling us, because he told the world, man, he getting used to what I'm doing.
And his dad was saying a whole bunch of nothing.
That's right. So this could be a reenactment of that, and it might not turn out the same. But then again, who knows? Turkey Hand is in it. I also heard that it didn't matter if they lost or whatever. They probably were still going to try to make them have their return match. So I don't know. That's a rumor that I heard as well.
Yeah.
But somebody going to get their ass whooped.
Yeah, I mean,
I would really like to see Ryan. I'm telling you, like you said, it wouldn't bother me if Rolly went out there and dropped Ryan.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna beat Ryan, but if he just go out there and drop him,
yeah, go out there and humble. Let him give some humility. But I will say this. I said, like, I wouldn't shed a tear, but I will say this. I do want to see the rematch. You know what I'm saying? So I will say that I hope things work out to where because they supposedly already signed a rematch and all of that stuff. But so when I look at all of that and factor that stuff in, I do want the rematch to take place, and I don't want to see a rematch with either or both of the guys coming off a loss. So I like to see, I guess for that purpose, I would like to see them both get a win, go into the rematch, and what I'm saying, let the cream rise to the top. We know it's gonna be a dramatic build up, that's for sure.
That's for sure. They're gonna talk that talk. Austrian accusations will be thrown everywhere.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be something. But like I said, we got to see what's gonna happen with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think for the most part, man, like I said, it's a card worth getting excited about when it rolls around. And several fighters that are known fighters to boxing fans, some known outside of boxing. And I think it's gonna be a situation where, it's gonna be a good night of boxing. And I feel like, I always say the best way to enjoy a boxing match is to not be too invested in the outcomes of, who wins and who loses, just to enjoy the night. So I'm gonna approach it that way when the time comes, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. Yeah, I like to see that rematch and like to see those two guys win, but if it don't work out that way, I definitely would not let it get under my skin to the point that I can't enjoy what's next in the sport.
Yeah, that sucks. Don't be invested like that. I feel you.
Yeah,
I get that. Let me see.
Yeah, that's the way I approach it, man. But I will say, with just overall, like Trey X said, you know what I'm saying? When I look at the sport, man, I ain't sitting around complaining. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not sitting around complaining about, what boxing ain't giving us. I feel like we were in a far worse place not very long ago. With fights needing to be made, and you got two fighters basically stare at each other right in the face, and everybody like, okay, what y'all gonna do? And nothing happening. And I don't think that's where we are now. Like we're getting
the whole time.
Right, we're getting more fights more frequently than we have in the past. And I for one can really, really appreciate that.
Sure, heck yeah. That's crazy. I'm enjoying the fights that we've been getting. I am not complaining about anything. The cards that's been presented in front of us. 2 undisputed matches with Bivol, undisputed with Crawford. Man, I ain't tripping on the fights that we get. I'm enjoying boxing. Straight up. One time pass code. Let me get that for 771. Taking care of some stuff right now. My security running out on my computer. I gotta up that. And we good. You still there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Man, I'm gonna tell you a name that surprised me. When I was making my picks, I saw that damn what's his name, Sergey Kovalev. I'm like, this motherfucker still fighting?
Yeah. I think he got stopped last time out against somebody at Cruiser, but he might have had a fight since then. But yeah, Kovalev still out there trying to make a check.
I'm like, come on, man. I actually thought I thought he had finished fighting a long time ago.
No, he's still in it. Still hanging in there.
Old Kovalev. He ain't the Crusher no more.
Nah.
That's gone.
No. I think his first fight at Cruiser, he may have had he may have got a good win. If I remember correctly. But aside from that, I think he just, you know what I'm saying, he done hung around a little too long. I mean, even with
long in the tooth.
Yeah, even with the move up the Cruiser, man, I just don't think. And part of Kovalev problem is just what we talked about, what we were giving Ennis credit for. Kovalev ain't ever really, you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say ever, but since we really started paying attention to him, Kovalev really hadn't been like living a fighter lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? He's been one of them guys who, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, like to indulge in extracurricular activities and things like that probably take away from how good or great he could have actually been. When
if he lived that Spartan life like we was talking about earlier with Boots and Crawford and those guys. If he lived that Spartan life, he didn't. Earl Spence, he didn't. So we could point those guys out now. You not what we thought you were. Eric also Haney probably should have pushed for Rolly or Cobb. Ramirez can really win this fight if he wants to. We got to see how Devin is mentally. True. I could say that he gives an aspect that he's good mentally, like the ass whooping that he took from Ryan was strictly because of the Austrian and all that kind of stuff. Cobb, I don't know, man. I saw some video with him and Cobb sparring, and sparring seemed to be slapping him around the ring pretty good.
Yeah, seemed like Cobb was getting the best of that, but I mean, but that's another situation though. When you look at sparring, are we only seeing, what
one half of it?
Yeah, the person who put it together, we only seeing what they wanted to see.
True.
I definitely I agree with you though. From what I saw, it looked like Cobb was doing his thing.
I think Cobb is just awkward enough and athletic enough. I think he would give Devin a good ass fight. I don't think Cobb would be an easy touch for Devin.
Nah, I don't think so.
Right now, I'm hard pressed to even think of an easy touch for Devin.
Yeah, man. When you coming on, I get it. The fight got overturned. I get it. You know, it was a split decision or majority decision, whatever it was. I mean, you know, when you look at the fight itself and how it played out, you know what I'm saying. You have to worry about the carryover of that for that how that fight went. Is this guy you know? And don't get me wrong, I give Devin credit for fight to the end. You know, he had opportunities. He could have checked out. He fought the whole 12. You know how I think it was 12 round fight. Yeah, it was 12.
Yeah, he fought
Yeah,
the
he
whole.
fought the whole
He fought
12.
the whole thing.
Yeah, he was trying. He was still trying to win. You know, just anytime Ryan connected clean, he was you know what I'm saying, he had Devin all over the place. But you know what I'm saying, even with all of that though, I think the fallout of it, like what does the fallout of it do for him? You know, because I think one of the things I've always said about Devin Haney is that I think he's always felt like he's not getting what he feel like he should get from fans. You know, I felt like when he went over there and became undisputed, I think he expected one thing and got another. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And I just and I think that I think he's still chasing something from the fans in the sport of boxing that he may or may not ever get. And I think he's less likely to get it now because of the fallout of the Ryan Garcia fight. Not necessarily the result of the fight, but everything that happened after. And I think that makes it harder for fans to really just kind of just get over things and just get behind the guy.
Yeah, the way he reacted, the way he went about everything.
Yeah, and his dad, for all the attention he brings on him, and helps keep his name relevant. I also think he hurts him sometimes with his presence in the media. You know what I'm saying? His some of the things he says. I think it kind of takes away from Devin. Even like when you think about when he was comparing Devin to Oscar De La Hoya, not Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins. It was one of them
Right.
situations where he was basically, he want to talk about what these other guys didn't do by the time they were Devin's age. But it's like, okay, that's all well and fine, but that don't make Devin greater historically than these guys. It's like he got an accomplishment that they didn't get by the time they was his age, but that don't mean that he's accomplished more than them in his career. That don't mean that he's a greater fighter historically than these guys and stuff like that. So I felt like some of that turned some fans off toward them.
Trying to build your tearing one down person to build up the next.
Right.
Instead of letting Devin's work build him up.
Yeah, and I get it. He was, in his own way, he was responding to some criticism from Bernard, but I don't know that was the proper response. Was to say, Bernard Hopkins just ain't the guy to be comparing careers against. I'm sorry. Especially when you talk about a fighter who ain't even, at that point probably wasn't even halfway done with his career, and you want to compare career with Bernard Hopkins. I think that was just poor. That was a poor decision to do that.
Yeah, you can't compare Devin to the executioner or the alien.
Right.
Neither one of them.
Right. So that's what I think. I think that kind of stuff like that kind of hurts me. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't the first time he's kind of just like really put cables on it when he want to give Devin credit. Like, okay, give him credit, but you ain't gotta give him credit by putting him on the shoulders of these other guys. Like he did more than they did. He did this, yeah, and it's not to say that he's lying, but context matters.
Yeah. Especially when how you lay it out.
Yeah,
and when you lay it out.
Yeah, and what reason? What is the reason for making this statement? You're making this statement, what I'm saying, for the purpose of not only building your son up, but you're intentionally trying to tear down this guy that people look at as a legend, regardless of how they feel about him outside of the ring. You can't take away from what this man did in the ring. And when you start trying to compare that to someone who had done a fraction of what he's done in terms of the scouts, in terms of, you use Trey Hitch's term, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the scouts and the opposition, you know what I'm saying, and the events and things like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, the man, I the man was the first person to stop Austin De La Hoya, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, with a body shot.
With a body shot.
Laying around on the ground, crawling, couldn't get up.
Right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But not only that, he done a lot more. You know what I'm saying? The man jumped up 2 divisions and went and took down the Kingpin at 175 and made it look easy.
Yeah, he a legend, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when you start talking about, you start trying to compare your son to that and just crap all over the man, like it's gonna be a hard sell.
Straight disrespectful.
Yeah.
Eric R say Rolly would probably be a solid touch because Rolly has become a front runner as of late. Rolly's been knocked out a couple of times, Eric R. Rolly is right now the best thing for him to do is ride with whatever wave they put him on, because I don't see him pulling too many wins or anything in the near future.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if Rolly was one of those guys that if he can get him one, that he might string something together. You know what I'm saying? I think if he could get him one like that, like against a guy that, you know what I'm saying, he ain't expected to beat, I think he could probably string something together, but I just don't see it happening. Because you got to look at, man, even when Rolly was winning, like Rolly got a few wins on his record, 2 or 3, that if we look back at it like, nah, that shouldn't have been a win. It's almost like somebody been looking out for Rolly his whole career. You know, like they had plans for him, and they weren't gonna let those plans be derailed and let somebody knock him out. But as far as like guys that they didn't want him to lose to, he wasn't gonna lose to them.
Yeah, because Pawpaw whooped his ass.
Yeah, Pawpaw put hands and foots on him.
Pawpaw whooped his ass, and they gave him that win.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sean Porter and Danny Garcia seem to eventually be able to fight themselves back to the spotlight. They were, once they got into the spotlight, they seemed to always have had a nice little shine on them. They didn't have to really fight their way back in there.
No, they didn't. And you gotta look at who those guys were losing to. Those guys were losing to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it was that little circle of guys fighting each other, and those the only guys they lost to. I mean, I think Porter had that loss to Kell Brook, but shortly after that he got the Keith Thurman fight. So he had like a win or two, then he got the Thurman fight. You know what I'm saying? And because of who Thurman was at that time, losing to Thurman in a split decision don't really hurt your stock. And a lot of people thought Sean won that fight. And then the same thing with Danny when he lost to Sean and Thurman, you had people arguing that he won those fights. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like those guys went out there losing to people that, weren't the who's who of the
losses was coming from the top guys.
Yeah, and even
with Porter came from the top guys.
Even with Porter losing to Brook, like it wasn't just out of left field. Like it was people who felt like Brook was gonna give Porter some problems. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up coming up short in that fight. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they were ever like out of the spotlight, had to try to work their way back into it, had to try to get back to you know what I'm saying, trying to get back to relevancy. Them guys were already people that they were already being watched.
They stayed pretty relevant.
Yeah.
Once the time the spotlights hit them, they stayed pretty relevant until they pretty much got out of it.
Yeah, they were the guys that a guy like Ennis, who was trying to get a name for himself, they were the guys that he would be trying to fight.
Those were the scalps.
Yeah, those are the guys that Virgil, you know what I'm saying, guys like that. Those are the guys that they were trying to, get an opportunity against to kind of see if they could, you know what I'm saying, feeling like, okay, these are the guys that held a statesman on their way out. I can get ahead and get this opportunity. It's really a win-win. Because unless you just go out there and get completely dominated, you probably could go out there and take a loss and it not be that big of a setback. It'll just be it was a little too early for you.
That's understandable. AI Meets and Music, the Kane in the house. He said the PBC gave the Rolly protection program to a few fighters, where they supposed to have lost but didn't. And they used certain guys to hand losses to even when they won. Dang. PBC taking a beat down tonight. Especially after we looked at Stan Yona's record and come to that drought after being so active. That's crazy. Eric also say, when I say spotlight, I mean gaining appeal to fans despite their fathers. Oh, well, I would say Sean had appeal to fans despite his father. You right. Danny had appeal. His dad was crazy, but his dad didn't make you dislike him. And Sean Porter's dad didn't make you dislike him, if you think about it, as much as Bill Haney has soured his son's name to the fans. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter's dad kind of became a little celebrity star when he slapped Fred. Not to be bringing up, because that could be a wound to somebody, but you do remember when he slapped Fred. If you're saying something, I can't hear
you. Slap who? What happened?
Remember when Sean Porter's dad slapped Fred?
No, I don't know nothing about that, man. Who is Fred? You got a video of it? Can you share it?
Fred from Barbershop.
Yeah, man, I ain't know nothing about none of that, man. Yeah, you ought to show it right quick. I think you're making it up.
I ought to show it right. Let me see.
Nah, I was just kidding, man.
Okay.
No, I was just messing around.
No.
That was sad situation. We got to do better. Hey, we got to do better as black.
Corbo, who was Corbo? Beat Charlo and Lean and came up with a loss and a draw. Which fight was that?
Oh, he talking about Matt Corbo. The guy, he got a Jamal Charlo fought. And then
Castano had beat him too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's Jamil. Yeah, I thought Castano beat Jamil in that first fight. Yeah, I did, you know what I'm saying? But I get it. Yeah. It was close enough to where it could be a draw or go the other way. I don't think it could win the other way, but I think it was close enough to be a draw. So, Castano fought himself for that, but I didn't see a draw. I felt like Castano had won 2 rounds.
Yeah, I kind of thought Castano had won myself. So I guess we both thought on the same level as that.
Yeah. I thought Charlo fought a dumb fight, and I thought his coach was trying to tell him.
To his coach.
Yeah, his coach was trying to tell him how to get out of the, how to stem the tide and turn the fight around. And I felt like he basically was just going out there fighting off instinct. Doing the same thing, just doing it a little bit harder. And meanwhile, Castano seemed to have a game plan that he actually was, working, and sticking with, and it was actually working in his favor. But, that was one situation where, they were not going to let, certain people lose in certain situations. That was one of them.
Yeah. Hyphy say, MZ, it's not nice to promote black on black violence. That slap was not nice. But it's true. It did happen. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't promoting. I was just saying that he was one of the dads that did that. Speaking of Derrick James, Alicia Baumgartner is training with him now. I saw that. I saw what was it, a video of them. She over there with the zone, but she training with Derrick James. We actually thought that Derrick James was going to go through a dry spell with losing fighters and the things that was going on, but it seems like people are kind of gravitating to him. I want to see what goes down with old Alicia coming out of there with Derrick and see what he can tighten her up on.
Yeah.
He said Kenny Porter was realistic when it came to Sean. Bill got that my son Achilles complex from Angel Garcia. Let me see. Angel loved his boy and everything, but he did stay true to his word. When his son stopped fighting, he stopped training. We haven't heard from Angel since Danny stepped away.
Yeah, it's one of them situations where with Angel, I don't think in Angel's eyes that Danny's ever lost a fight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the Spence fight, but for the other, and of course the Laura fight where he got stopped. But in all these decisions, Angel was louder than Danny. Protesting. The outcomes of these fights.
Yeah, well, you can understand that. That's a different type of thing. He cheered his son on and everything like that. He talked about how good his son was, but he really didn't disrespect too many people. Bill is just he just tripping. My boy said he took it way too far, where it becomes cartoonish. Yeah, my son is the greatest thing since sliced bread. My son is better than Ali, Floyd, Sugar Ray Robinson, and
that sounds like Teofimo Lopez, that
all together. I didn't say nigga though.
Right.
You gotta throw that in real quick too.
Yeah. Or I grew up in New York and I used to say it, but it was because of such and such and such.
Right. I'm trying to make an excuse for it.
Yeah.
Derrick James, he got the best black women's fighter. His fighter better than what? Boy, stop. Alicia can't beat Clarissa.
Maybe
I'm sorry,
bless him. Maybe at a bodybuilding contest.
That's that no.
Well, not now. Not now.
Hell no.
Not anymore. She can't.
Hell no. Have you seen boy? Anyway, before I go too far, little bitty what's her name? Baumgartner cannot be Clarissa. Clarissa is the GOAT, the best women's fighter right now. Yeah, that's my fighter, hyphy. You can have little bitty. I'm mad at the world. Matter of fact, tell her to go over there and fight. Dang, what's her name? Pierce, the girl that beat Oh my gosh, the girl
I know
that
what you're talking about.
Yeah, tell her to go over there and fight her. Fight that champion.
The one that beat Jonas.
Yes. Tell her to go mess with her. Or even so, go over there and mess with the Dubois sister. See what she got for her. She go over there and beat those two, then you might have some conversation with me. But I don't see her beating Clarissa now, tomorrow, next week, next year, at all. He said, what I look like dropping 30 for a beast that pop dirty? Clarissa Shields. Heck no. Matter of fact, Clarissa was talking about some other woman that was talking about. She was like, yeah, she gonna have to come up for me to go down and lose all this booty. I ain't doing that, but she loved that booty.
Yeah, she was talking about I think she was talking about the one. I forgot her. Maybe the same woman that beat Jonas. I think who she was talking about.
Oh, her and what's her name was joking about fighting.
Lauren Price. Is it Lauren Price?
No, she was joking. Yeah, it's Price that she was talking about going down and lose the booty, but they had to come with the money. He said,
yeah, then when she was going back and forth with Cyborg, she told Cyborg didn't want to come up, didn't want to meet at a decent weight. Cyborg wanted her to come all the way down to 47.
That's crazy. You ain't got nothing for her to come down to.
Yeah, I don't even think the good woman's ever fought it. I don't think she's ever fought below 54.
No, she hasn't. Not that I could remember.
Because if you remember, she started out higher, and then she started going down and winning titles, at lower weights.
And then she went.
And then she went back up. Yeah, she started going back up, going into making her way toward the Savannah Marshall fight. So I don't want to see somebody who was just at heavyweight. I know heavyweight different for the women, but I don't want to see some woman who just fighting at heavyweight fighting at doggone 147 or anywhere
Nah.
near it. I don't
Nah.
want to see her fight at 54 no more.
Let her stay in the 60s and up.
Yeah, that's the way I
I'm
feel about it.
satisfied with that.
I mean, I know
He said,
women losing weight is different than men, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know enough about the history of women's boxing with women dropping it down in weight like that, how it really affects them. I mean, I know for a man, we really wouldn't advise it. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to go up that high in weight and then come back down and talk about, making just like Terrence Crawford. If he going up there to fight Canelo, even if he weigh 162, I don't want to see him back at over 47. You know what I'm saying?
no,
He
that's no, hell no.
might not need to go below 60 after that. Not straight back.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Maybe you go
Ease
68,
yourself back down if you
right,
go
and
down.
then you come back down and have a fight at 60, and then you come back and then you say you want to go back to 54. But I don't think you make that drop from 68 down to 54.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you ease back down into it.
Right, and even like if you take Charlo for instance, even if he come back at 54, well, look how long he been out the ring. He last fought, I want to say it was September 23. So, by the time he fights again, you teetering on 2 years. So to me, that ain't the same as somebody having a fight in September and then say come back around February, they fight at 54. But they fought at 68 in September.
Yeah, that's crazy. Alicia got more skills. Alicia is pound for pound better. Okay. W.E. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, and the Morgan Freeman from Glory was turning over in their graves the day Fred got slapped. It was almost as devastating as Wilder losing in Black History to a gypsy. Whoo, I don't.
Hey,
It
I say
yeah.
it like this. I wasn't as disappointed in seeing Fred get slapped as I was seeing Jamal Charlo get slapped.
Oh man, when my boy Sweet Hand slapped him.
Yeah.
He slapped him. He slapped him. When he slapped him, he looked like he was trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah. He trying to figure out did that really happen?
What I didn't see is the lion come out in him.
No.
I didn't see that. Duquesne said correct. She hasn't fought below 154 after that became undisputed there. She said in the ring they'd have to pay her big to lose her booty and go to 147. And I agree with her. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't lose the booty. I like booty. On the women. Get that out there. Jamal actually lost. Jamel actually lost last fight. Damn, I'm tripping. Jamel's actually last fought in May of 2022. In September of 2023, he just survived a while. Can't really call that a fight. Well, we all know that he did walk away wearing it on his chest like, I didn't get knocked out by Canelo.
Yeah,
That's the only.
that was his badge of honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget the fact that I didn't go out there and even try to win. It's that I went out there and I didn't get stopped.
That part.
Yeah.
Which was not satisfying to anybody because you went out there and disappointed the world. You called this man cinnamon and he was running from you. You and your brother was calling his name. And like you said, he disrespected his brother and then went out there and didn't do jack. Eric also said he don't see Bud fighting more than 2 fights. You think he's going to have 2 fights and call it quits? I think if he beats Canelo, he had the right to say, you know what, I don't have to fight nobody else.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what Crawford, what his next move would be. Should he win or lose that fight? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, I do like the fact that even if he knows he ain't fighting again after that, that he ain't talking about it, because I don't never like guys talking about retiring going into fights. But I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I try to think about it, it's like, is he going to have that fight and then plan on going down to 60? Is he going to have? Because the one thing I have gathered that he's not going to do is try to campaign at 68. You know, regardless of the outcome of the fight. You know what I'm saying? I based on the things I've heard him say about, even when like asked about certain other fighters and stuff, it's almost like Canelo was really the only guy at 68 that he was really willing to fight. And it makes sense, you know what I'm saying? When you think about like when Roy Jones moved up, when he was talking about going to the heavyweight, at one point the only guy he really wanted to fight was Holyfield. And then of course Tyson, if the money was, you know, because of the money, but Holyfield was the guy that he felt like most closely matched. Right, because Holyfield spent all that time at Cruiser. He wasn't 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". You know, he was
a manufactured cruiserweight that turned heavyweight.
Yeah, I think Holyfield was about 6'3". I think Roy's like, I can't remember. I want to say Roy's either 5'11" or 6'1". But anyway, you know, I think, you know, that was the fight he openly said. But then what happened with John Ruiz beat Holyfield. And then Roy was already kind of like had done made his mind up. He was going to make the jump. So they was able to work out the Ruiz fight. So, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of how that all played out. But I can see where a guy coming up from such a lower weight would say, nah, I'll fight the guy who done kind of fought at some of the same weight classes I have. You know, in terms of Canelo starting out at 47, maybe 40, maybe he had a fight or two at 40. But he really, you know, kind of, you know, did his, you know, fought at 40 at 47, and then shortly moved to 54. Then of course I think his first title was against 140 or 147 pounder at 54. When he fought Matthew Hatton, I think it was, and got that, you know, got his first strap. So, you know what I'm saying? When you look at all of that, like if you're gonna go up there and fight a guy, you ain't find a guy who's been at 68, you know, most of his career. You know what I'm saying? And just really, you know, been there and been a staple at that division. He was a guy who kind of moved up, went to 60, jumped to 75, got a belt at 68, went to 75, came back down to 68. So it makes sense. And you know, he ain't big as, you know, the other guys at 68, some of the other guys. So
shoot, I give him, like I said, I give him the pass. If he beats Canelo, or he can, you know, him going down wouldn't bother me a bit. Him not fighting again, I'll be like, he kicked the man that everybody says the face of boxing's ass.
Yeah,
and that's that.
Yeah, he go out there, man. He go out there and dominate Canelo. The people who want to have something to say about it negatively gonna say it. They gonna say you got people now, you know, after Boots fight, you know, talking about, yeah, you see why Terrence Crawford, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And it's like, you know, people want to rewrite history. You know, they act like Terrence Crawford was just free and available to fight Boots, like it wasn't a contract already in place for him to fight Errol Spence Jr. You know, so there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? So it's like people who feel like that, and that's their opinion of the man, regardless of what happens like the Canelo fight, they're gonna still have criticisms of it. You know, if he go out there and win a decision, you're gonna have people, no matter how it looked, they're gonna be like, you know, he didn't win the fight. They gave it to him. Canelo got wrong, you know, stuff like that, you know. So
well, they can get ready to start singing the song one way or the other. Simple as that. And as far as people, you know, with that statement about Boots wanting a certain fight with Spence and Crawford and all that, Boots just happened to be in the wrong class. Simple as that. He was in the class a little too late to be able to get smoked with those guys. By the time it was time to deal with them, they were already leaving the division.
Yeah.
And Eric also say, what do you mean not now? What are you implying? She told the truth. She just not working out as hard. He talking about Alicia Baumgardner, and the bodybuilding contest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Since she don't work out as hard as she used to, I don't think she'll win the bodybuilding contest.
Yeah, she
I'm not implying anything else.
Except that she got caught dirty.
I guess that's not an implication. That's what happened, right?
That's a fact, Tom.
I'm not implying anything. What happened, but I'm not implying anything.
Okay, Eric also said Roy is 5'11".
5'11".
Oh,
okay.
I saw the lion come out of Charlo after he got slapped. It was the one from Bugs Bunny when he said, "How many lumps do you want?" Oh, about 3 or 4. Man, that was one of the most embarrassing things, because it wasn't at a weigh-in or where
you talking about somebody turned over in their grave.
he said W.E.D. Du Bois and Frederick Douglass, Morgan Freeman, guys from Glory.
Yeah.
Turning over in their grave from the slap on Fred.
Yeah, so imagine what they did when they saw what happened to Jamal.
When Jamal got slapped by Complaint.
Hey, we both prize fighters. We fighting in and around the same weight class. It wouldn't take me 2 or 3 years to get a fight, Boy, and it wouldn't be contingent upon us winning other fights. It'd be like that would have been, hey, I gotta have it.
Got to have it.
Gotta have it. Whatever, however it turned out is how it turned out, but I gotta have it. No, you been out the ring. I gotta have it. I don't know who I got to train with. Huh?
Didn't he apologize for pulling Caleb's beard after?
He apologized. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
He apologized for touching his beard. Yeah.
I'm like, what kind of soft ass stuff is that? This man is slapped. He didn't slap you, just slap. He slapped you where the world could see it. A lot of times you can put.
Yeah, I think he came up from his shoe with the slap.
That boy came from Tennessee with that.
All the way from Tennessee.
He came from Tennessee to Texas.
Yeah, he came all the way from Tennessee, put everything he had in.
Back and was ready, like, yeah, what you gonna do? And Jamal was like,
I think he told him this for the culture.
Who's culture?
Yeah. He said he adopted
off that boy.
Hey, he said he was adopted by the culture. This is for the culture.
You got slapped by a high yellow.
Yeah, he put some
light bright. You wrong for basking in that man's pain like that. My brother, I done stood on some extra, but I can't take it no more. My stomach hurting so bad. If I don't go eat right now, I'm gonna pass out.
Oh, good. I'm sleeping myself. I need to go and lay it down and get up early tomorrow. But yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. Like I said, like I always say, good to chop it up with you, chop it up with Trey X in the chat. And I'll try to catch you on the next one, man.
All the time.
Hey, I got one request.
What's that?
Can we keep moving on the way out the door? You ain't set up.
Man, we could keep moving right on out the door. Trust me, I got it set up already. And because you requested, I'm going to go ahead and make sure we get it done.
Oh, okay.
With that, let me give my last shouts out one more time for everybody's birthday that's taking place in this month. You, D-Lo, for boxing. Our boy Napoleon Armstrong. And my my wife, my honey love's birthday will be in about an hour and 15 minutes. So I got to go get some things together so I can wish her a happy birthday. I appreciate everybody coming through and spending some time with us, because you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to spend that time with us. So with that, I'm out. Y'all ride out with Keep Moving. Peace.
I don't worry about no problems, there's no problems worry me. I don't need no ticket for my windows everywhere to see. I keep moving, always keeping people in your sight. I keep moving, you never know who's wrong or who's right. I don't worry about no problems, there's no problems worry me. I don't need no ticket for my windows everywhere to see. I keep moving, always keep your eyes on the prize. I keep moving, you never know who's truly on your side.
I'm a rich, old, dead white boys. You know the dead ones get stacked up. When you walk into a strip club, tossing up while hoes act up. Niggas look strange, I know the strange back. You got a problem, you don't really want that. That alcohol got you thinking. You walk in, don't make me disprove that. Now I'm trying to let you make it, my nigga, just let it be. that devil off up in you, so you gon' come fuck with me. Now I'ma make it home and you might not let there be new scripture. If you cross the line, I can guarantee you I'll let that be hit you. I don't worry about no problems, there's no problem with me. I don't need no tender on my windows that they're here to see. I keep moving, always keep the people in your sight. I keep moving, you never know who's wrong or who's right. Worry about no problems, there's no problems worrying me. I don't need no tender on my windows that they're here to see. I keep moving, always keep your eyes on the prize. I keep moving, you never know who's truly on your side.
I keep on moving like soul to soul, penetrate your mind, let your conscience flow like water from the aquifer to the wind in your ocular and see it up in the sea. For the Hennessy, take a sip. Lyrical clip full of hollow tip. Grab a mic with a firm grip when I spit. Have brothers ducking mental shit.
Niggas killing me with this mother shit that you hear. Ability to speak with clarity, it's so unclear.
But I'ma need you to step your game up, cause if not, you would trust us a lame duck. I'ma call you superhead cause the game sucks. Keep it moving in your lame truck. Run.
Worry about no problems, there's no problem worrying me. I don't need no tears up on my windows that they're here to see. I keep moving, always keep the people in your sight. I keep moving, you never know who's wrong or who's right. Worry about no problems, there's no problems worrying me. I don't need no tears up on my windows that they're here to see. I keep moving, always keep your eyes on the prize. I keep moving, you never know who's truly on your side. I say it.
Niggas killing me with this mother shit that you hear. Ability to speak with clarity, it's so unclear.
I said niggas be talking crazy.